children dying? What about the children crying?
What about the kids?
Don't forget the children starving.
Tell 'em about the children.
What about the children crying?
Yeah, digging, scratching, working, struggling, hoping. Some is hustling, every man hustling, stay alive, that's the game. It don't matter if another gets slain. Pain, recession, other cats want a war, we got the weapon. People want bombs, so they gon' get them. This is the rhythm, the politics ticking. It's sad how we living in this life. It's gonna be a time that we change. Shit is not finite, life is the same. Motherfuckers killing each other to make a claim. Stop that bullshit, you have no respect for each other. You know the truth, you come from your mother, your sister, your brother. So love one another. If we make that change, the whole world will do the same. So listen.
Only there's one love. Every day the children dying. What about the children crying?
What about the kids?
Don't forget the children starving.
Tell 'em about the children.
What about the children crying?
I wish someone tell me when is the suffering gonna stop. I see time ticking, fuck your watch. There comes a time when man steps to the plate, but it won't matter if your mentality is fake. Where I'm from, we got a system, overcrowded prisons, 2 cents an hour, man. Listen, shit don't change if we keep exploiting each other. One day you find out you only did it to your brother. A homeless mother, a baby, no supper. She got a husband and father, they both love her, but they can't find work cause the people with the power, they got a strange way to govern. Their price tags say nothing. Life is funny, then again it's really not. People dying for what other people got. I asked God if he can come and change the shit. He said, hell no, it's you that's gotta change this.
Every day the children dying. What about the children crying?
Check. Alright. Yeah. This one, a little true sound for you. You feel me? They don't know that I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna spit it like I know. They don't know that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that I'm gonna be your mind tonight. Born on this planet full of hate, inherited from our harshest past, embedded in our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They calling you an idiot to your face. Life is much more simple than that. We all slaves and the cards is stacked. While we fight over problems we can fix, industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does the job introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you. Keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. Yo, what's up everybody? Here we go. Yes, I had a little time off, you know. It's the weekend and the weather is great over here in Copenhagen, Denmark. The weather is great. So, I mean, I've been outside. I'm going to be outside again today because it's the last day of the weekend. But I wanted to get this live in. Pretty soon you guys are going to see a few others come in and doing some lives through the channel. And you know who they are. You know who they are, my contributors. And they stepping up and getting their productions together and everything, because we got critical commentary here, you know. Now, I wanted to take it a little bit different today, the beginning, and that I just want to address a few ideas. You know, I got some people coming to my page. You know, they never hop up on the lives. They don't want you to know who they are. They're not like me. They're not proud of their views. They don't stand on their views. They don't go around day to day saying exactly what they believe on the internet. You know, they fucking hide. Maybe they at work like this. Scared to say what I got, my views. I mean, I don't know. But I will put the link in the chat as I always do. But you never see these people hop up, man. I mean, I know for a fact. I'm not from a town where people, if you got a problem with people, you just don't come straight to them and say what's up. Like I'm from a town. I've been raised that way. Hello, let's talk about it. What's going on out there in the world? If you have issues, come on up, man. Hop on up. That's all. Richie Myers. So what? You think I'm insane? Embarrassed for you? Well, then why are you here, buddy? Why are you embarrassed for me? I don't know. Where do you come from? Let people know where you come from. Let people know where you come from. Where do you come from, Richie? Let me put the chat up. I don't mind engaging the chat actually. So let me find out where this is going on at, so I could put it up here for folks so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Here we go. Where is it at? Boom. Is that it? Okay. Here it is right here. Is it there? Oh shit. No. Sorry about that. I'm missing it. Small. There we go. Okay, so let me try to get this up now. I think you all will be able to see it in 2 seconds. Oh, you know what? This is not the one I want to do that on. Yeah, sorry. I just it's not this one. I just started. Here we go. So now it's coming. I just had to get a few things straight with the stream here. Now let's see here. Register voters. Here we are. So now you can see what I'm saying. Now, here we go. Richie, hop on up, man. Express yourself. Let people know who you are. Don't hide in the chat. Come on up and speak. Like, come on, man. Show your face and be real about it. Like, or you can stay down there in the chat and just hide and think that counts. That doesn't count in big boy world. Okay? Grown up world, you get to have an opinion. It's called freedom of speech. Hop on up. You know? Are you ready? Come on up. Let me put the link in the chat. Let me open up the stream. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Boo, boo, boo. Thank you for stumbling along my page. I got you. You made an accident. You could fix your accident or you could stay. So, stumble along anyway. Look, let me see. Don't switch. Yeah, here we go. So, now let me get the server going for everybody. Yeah, I couldn't do the stream yesterday. It was a little hectic, but the weather was so nice. I actually just decided to get out there, and I'm probably going to do the same thing today. Here we go. Panel. Now, I'm sure Richie doesn't know how to use Discord because he's on the internet with his mobile phone and doesn't know about apps and stuff yet, because that would be his excuse, right? Just like everybody's excuse is pretty much the same when they hide. You know what I'm saying?
Oops, I don't know how to work that. I'm just on YouTube, working my YouTube app. Sorry, never, never been on the internet before. Here you go. So there you have it, Rich Myers. You got your chance to hop up and find out what I got for you. You know, you don't have to hide. You could take some unexpected statements from me and some unexpected questions if you're a big boy. All right, but you're not, right? So in any case, but I wanted to address something else because look, this is not the only fool you get. I'll let the chat be open because I don't mind the fools because it helps big the algorithm up. You know, I don't know if they realize that. They probably don't, but you know, here it is. That's how you know this algorithm shit works. You may not like something, but the more you engage it, the more you see of it, right? The more you see of what you claim you don't like. That's how it works. And, you know, you just got to deal with it. Now, here, check this out. I don't know. Now, here's another one. Third Rail. I don't know what the hell. Oh, that's Third Rail 19. Okay. Ooh, graffiti artists in the house. Third Rail. Don't step on it. Electricity. Beach Street. Raymond. Somebody call Raymond. Say it, y'all. Raymond. We got Third Rail in the house. The one that took out Raymond. Big shout out to Big Street. Booyaka. All right, now, this Third Rail says we have to be careful when it comes to political commentary. Their growing trend, especially in the black community, to bootlick and buck dance for a Democratic Party. So most viewpoints are slanted towards the white overlords. So we have racialized language here from what? Racialized language. So that's supposed to mean black people don't vote Democrat, y'all. Don't vote Democrat. Listen, buck dancing, I don't know. You make voting seem hard, motherfucker. Like, you don't have to dance. Most people don't want to, you know, spend their time waiting in the polls, but they're really not dancing there. I don't know how many people you've seen. Do you want Republicans, broke ass Republicans in red states to stop buck dancing? You want the white boys to stop buck dancing for Trump? Is that what you're asking? I don't get it. What does this have to do with white and black? You're poor, motherfucker. What are you talking about? This is about rich and poor. What the fuck? There's plenty of poor-ass white people with plenty of poor-ass black people with no fucking education in the United States of America. God damn. Do you know what the death rate among Americans is? Do you know that compared to the EU? Let me just tell you. You die, motherfucker, in the United States of America. All of you. You die earlier. And why do you die earlier? Because you want to. You're stupid. Okay? And comments like that reflect it. You see what I'm saying? You see this? That kind of racialized language where it's slanted. It's a setup. You know what I mean? You see that? Let me open it up again. This is what dying early in the United States of America looks like. This kind of stuff. We have to be careful when it comes to political comment. Careful, motherfucker. You're not careful with your mouth. You're not careful with your thoughts. Okay? Like, goddamn. What's wrong with you? Let me tell you something. Slavery ended, bitch. Okay? You don't get to tell anybody what to do because of their color, you stupid motherfucker. Okay? So I'm just letting you know. I will boo your ass before you ever in your life ever make me do a motherfucking thing I don't think of myself. And I'm going to vote for any motherfucking body I feel like it, regardless of their color. Okay? You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if you noticed this, but white people tend to be represented a whole lot in the Republican Party more than any other people. And you have the nerve to be telling black people to not vote for Democrats? Tell me something rational, you psycho. Hop your bitch ass up some fucking time. Okay? Hop your ass up. You don't make any sense. And it's really pathetic to bring in race to this. See, that's when you know their argument is so weak. It's not that you can't discuss racism. You can discuss gender bias. You can discuss all kinds of biases. You can discuss bias against handicapped people. There's lots of bias. Let's have the conversation. But when you cheaply use something like that and throw it out there, it shows you are a pathetic piece of shit, regardless of what your race is. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of what your race is. And I doubt that person's even black. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of trolls on the chat and the internet that like to pretend they're somebody that they're not. Make these comments to divide Americans, have Americans fighting each other on the internet. You see, people like this don't want anybody voting. People like this hate the fucking United States of America. Like straight up. And look at the next comment. Anyone that voted for either of them. You see that underneath? You see that? That's the proof. That's the proof. So, third rail 19, I challenge you, if you ever want to show your face, if you ever get tired of hiding your comments, if you don't mind that other people in the world and people around you, your family, your community, you know what I'm saying, and everybody else gets to know who you are and your ideas, I welcome you to hop up so they can hear them. How about that? I'll let you talk. I'll let you share your ideas, your dumbass ideas, you know. I welcome it. Okay. So that goes with this is crazy, man. Sometimes I swear, but you have to break it down like this because kids will look at the internet and kids will be swayed by that dumbass shit. People will be swayed by that stupid shit right there. Young kids will be swayed by the young people. Listen to me. That is a loser. That's a loser. Don't fall for the okie doke. Okay. You can be anything you want. And if you want to transform a party, if you want to transform the Democratic Party, you're more than welcome to participate and transform it. Don't you see Mom Donnie doing something different? Don't you see that? You see that? I mean, what? Black people don't like Mom Donnie in New York or something? They don't like that. They don't like child care. They don't like balancing the budget all of a sudden. Yeah. But he's not the only one. You know, there's enough problems in politics. But look, let's not play that game. The country is the way it is because too many people don't participate in the electoral process. 90 million Americans did not vote in the last election. And sorry, you only make political change when you vote. Now, you could have a revolution, but most of you motherfuckers ain't even going to get that far. That's just talk. Okay. First of all, and then why would you even want a revolution when you're too fucking lazy to vote? You know, you too lazy to vote. Don't you know it ain't easy to vote? But, you know, you got to put in a little effort. But if you're too lazy to vote, you definitely too lazy for a revolution because voting is part of the revolution. You know, don't try to separate it. Vote or you ain't part of this revolution. Man, get the fuck out of here. You better use any goddamn tool at your disposal, fool. You better. Okay, and if you could, you better use any tool you got. But first of all, this is the biggest one. You know, like do something. Think of something original. Stop repeating the same shit from some failure. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It didn't work the last time. Okay, you got Donald Trump. Donald Trump is kicking all Americans' ass, regardless of their color. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. You know. Anyway, so enough of that buffoonery. Enough of that buffoonery. There's a lot. Listen, let me see here. Did I open it up? Let me make sure everybody got my invites too. Anybody that want to hop up. I actually tuned out for the news, so I'm going to catch up right now. This is going to be my catch up day. So let's see what we got right now. It seems like Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass. Now, I told people last year, you know, I had a bet, and I've been saying this. Black Zun, hop on up, man. Here go the link. Hop on up, man. Come on, hop on up. Boom. Everybody got their theories. Hop on up. People had theories that Trump was going to make America great again. It didn't happen. Okay, so theories don't count anymore. Now, I'm talking about what's proven. Now, what's proven is that I was talking about this last year, the Ukraine thing, and I saw a lot of folks, particularly Pan-Africanists, I would say pseudo Pan-Africanists, to be honest with you. They were clinging on to a lot of disinformation spread through Russia outlets, Russian bots and things like that, and Russia troll farms. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all the Pan-Africanists were doing this because I don't actually I'm able to see the difference between propaganda, Russian propaganda, American propaganda, just propaganda, man. All you got to do is use your brain and go dig up the facts and see what washes out. But it is a known fact that Russia spent a lot of time in the Western world. They sent their agents out to communicate with different groups in the United States, right wing and left wing, right? Well, pseudo, whatever you want to call left wing, right? Groups like Uhuru movement, their agents were communicating with Uhuru movement. Uhuru movement got charged by the feds, by the way. And what's interesting is they admit that they were talking to the Russians. They admit that they took money. I don't know how much they admit, but it's generally understood that the Russians were given the talking points. Colonialism, la la la, as if Russians ain't colonialists. Russians are colonialists. They are an empire. They have imperialist views, right? They always have, and they've always been executing them, right? The feds did not lose. You should stick to the facts, Patrick. No, they didn't lose. And you shouldn't be proud to spew things that aren't facts. Okay. Now, what it is that they may not have been as guilty as they could have been. That's what that would be. But here's the point. Here's the bigger point. Because fuck whether the feds convicted them. That's not even my point. So slow down. Slow your roll, partner. Slow down for a second. And also hop up if you want to really have a conversation. But don't spit incorrect facts. Okay? Because I don't say shit I haven't already checked into. Especially if I'm saying it's a fact. Now, here's the thing. No offense to you, but come on now. But here's the thing. It's not about whether the feds, the feds prosecuted Huey P. Newton also. Who gives a fuck about the feds? I don't. But the question is this. Why would you take money? Because they did. And why would you meet with people that meet with your enemy and give them money? So the Russians were giving white supremacists money. Anti-homophobe groups in the right wing money, talking points, logistically. They were doing that. The same agent that linked up with the Hoover movement did that. So it kind of kills your argument, because why would you accept help from someone that's aiding your enemy? That doesn't make any sense. And that shows you how flawed some of those movements are. You see what I mean? So you just need to own up for your failures, because you ain't going to get it right when people need it to be done right. Okay, halfway and wrong and oops, sorry, don't cut it. Okay, and here's why I say that, because other people saw that play coming and didn't fall for it. So it says something for the leadership. Okay, and it says something for the thinking. Okay, now, United States wasn't the only place Russia played these games. They played the same game in Europe, the same exact game. They had agents out there contacting organizations, right wing and left wing, and trying to give them talking points. And I'm serious. And the talking points are freedom of speech and and colonialism. We fighting colonialism, right? And what we mean by colonialism is only Europe. We only mean the United States. In Europe, they were like, to the Pan-Africanists, they say, it's the Westerners. That's what they mean by fight colonialism. Then they went to the U.S. and they said, fight the Muslims. Yeah, fight the Muslims. They taking over. Fight the Muslims and the homos. They taking over. That's the talking point for there. And then in Europe, they were like anti-Muslim. United States are like anti-Muslim, anti-homosexuals, anti-blacks. You see, so they had their little game. And then when they went to the Africans, they were like anti-Westerners. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And they were successful at it because a lot of people just don't want to do the work. They want to hate somebody else instead of ask themselves, this is strange. What's going on here? Something don't make sense. Something's not adding up. You see, and I took the approach of something's not adding up. That's what I did. The things that were happening weren't adding up to historical fact. Okay? They weren't. So you got to look at it. Don't let people play you. Don't let people use you. Don't let people get into your emotions by claiming they're anti-colonialists. Yo, I'm sorry. There's limits to that argument, because the whole fucking globe has been colonized many times by people. What do you mean by colonize? Goddamn. Like, what do you fucking mean? In what period? In what specific time? And don't you ever fool and play a game like colonization of the earth only happened once or twice. Okay, that's not what happened. That's a lie. A lot of different groups colonize. There's a lot of different forms of colonization. Period. You know, that's why it's called colonization. Now, if you want to say Western colonization, say that. If you want to say Islamic colonization, say that. If you want to say some other form of colonization, say that specifically. Say it, right? Don't fool kids out there. Don't dumb the kids down. You see what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter that you think your fight is more important than someone else's fight when you talk. Be specific. Be specific at all times. You see, period. And then you won't have to be like, oops, I'm sorry. I took money from an agent who's giving money to my enemy and empowering them to fight against me. Then you won't have to play that game. You see? Then you don't have to be the fool at the end of the day. So let's look at how the chickens are coming home to roost, because I heard a lot of people saying, yeah, man, it's the Jews in Ukraine. You know, Putin is trying to do, if NATO hadn't done this, if they hadn't done all of this shit, it's like, man, get the fuck out of here, dude. They tried to exterminate goddamn Ukraine, and they've been trying to exterminate these people. These people were subjects to them. These people were fucking serfs too. Don't ever think that Russia did not get that big because they didn't colonize so many groups of people. They did. And when those groups of people break off from them, you need to know your education, goddammit, because that could be your motherfucking ass too. Very simple. You don't want to make people that you should identify with in some way think, damn, you fucking dumb. You don't know the fucking history. That's just as bad as somebody not knowing American history, not knowing the oppression that African Americans went through. That's just as bad. If you don't know the oppression Ukrainians went through, that's just as bad. It just means, damn, you can't complain. You have to educate. You have to educate. That's what you got to do. And no, it ain't just you. You know, so get out of this thing about thinking it's just you, because if you think it's just you and you think your people are perfect, man, you're the joke of the fucking human race. People have been fucking up on Earth since time began. Since time began. All kinds of people. All kinds. Sure. Sometimes worse than others, but all times. What is that? Well, you worse than me. You did it worse than me, man. So therefore, don't come to me with all that bullshit I did. Fuck that. That bullshit I did when I chopped your mother's head off, that don't fucking matter because you chopped off 3 mothers' heads. No, you shouldn't. Nobody should be chopping mothers' heads off. Nobody should be doing that. No one should be wilding and going, you know. So Russia sent 150,000 military troops to their border, and Putin went on international TV and he told the world, you, look at me, you in this stream, you are stupid if you think I'm going to invade Ukraine. Those troops are not there to invade Ukraine. I'm talking to you in the chat, you in that TV. And then they invaded Ukraine. If you the type of person that just goes along with that, nigga, I can't fuck with you. Like, whoever you are, it doesn't matter. I can't fuck with you. You just gonna walk away anytime somebody does something wrong, anytime, and try to justify it. So, you know, here we go. Let's go.
Night, part of a broader Ukrainian barrage on Russian territory. And the Kremlin says the latest Ukrainian attack set back the prospects for a face-to-face meeting between Presidents Putin and Zelensky.
It is fair to say that Ukraine's latest attacks does not bring personal context between the head of the Kyiv regime and our president any closer, does not bring them closer. Europeans are clearly insisting that the war must continue, basing this on a completely incorrect and false assumption that the situation on the battlefield is supposedly shifting in favor of Ukrainian forces, which is categorically untrue. From this point, they are trying to influence Trump to take a more clearly pro-Ukrainian position.
Well, Sebastian Shukla is following developments from Berlin. So, Seb, what more can you tell us about what happened here with these attacks and that response we've just had there from the Kremlin?
Yeah, Chrissy, I think the ferocity of these attacks last night is clear to see and very, very evident from those images. If we can play them again, there is one in particular that I'd like viewers to see, which is the Moscow city skyline covered with black plumes of smoke. And that is just a real indictment about the level of the attack that the Ukrainians unleashed this morning or late last night on the Russian capital. The focus was an oil refinery here. I mean, it has left several people wounded. There are no dead. But the fact that the Kremlin or the Kyiv have been able.
Well, Russia does far worse than this. I mean, Russia literally doesn't even try to hit oil, any kind of factory, or they just go and hit an apartment building at nighttime where everybody's asleep. 500 people. That's what they do. You see what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, people watch that for years now, Russia doing that. And so many people made excuses for Russia fucking purposely targeting civilians. That's what they did. That's what they did. And so folks said, hey, what type of maniac sends people to war and 1 million of his soldiers die and he still is making the same excuses? That is Putin. He sent 1 million of his people to fucking die. And goddamn, you trying to invade another country. 1 million fucking soldiers. Sorry, that is insane. That is insane. Who does that? And a smaller population defended themselves. Yep. And it was all about that border. It was all about that sovereignty. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to pick up a gun to defend your country's sovereignty? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if the answer is no. Very simple. Put a 1 in the chat if you're willing to defend your country with a gun. Put a 2 in the chat if the answer is no. That's all. It's very simple about it. Where do you stand on the shit? Very simple. But most of them were prisoners, mental. Exactly. They sent. Look, that's how slick Russia is. They go send the meek to go die doing a crime. That's what they do. They promise them their freedom, send them out there to fucking die. You know, that's even more incredulous. That's fucking Machiavellian. You see what I'm saying? So it's shameful. It's also racist. You know what I'm saying? It's also classist. You know, they send their poor just like a lot of countries do now. Don't get it twisted. You know, Trump is, you know, the United States has a lot of issues with that, too. People question the United States ethics on its military, you know, and where they harvest their soldiers from. Is it from poor communities across the United States? You see what I'm saying? So people have every right to question that. Do these people have any option to go to school? Do they have option to other things without having to join the military and put their life on the line? Pretty much no. In the United States, most of them go because they want to get a GI Bill. They want to get a loan for a house, and they want to get access to education finally, have it paid for. Most of them want that. You see what I'm saying? And the ones that die or get blown up don't get it. Basically, you know, that's what it is. And I can vouch for that shit. I know a lot of, they take people from urban cities in the United States all the time. They take them all the time. So it was a sister who came up here, Bunny. She's called Bunny, right? She talked about she was in Germany because she married her husband's from Chicago. They were married. And in that program, he's a soldier, obviously. But he was stationed in Germany. In that program, you're allowed to bring your wife too. Right. They have housing for families. Right. This kind of thing. So there's a lot of people from urban cities, a lot of people from rural parts of the country in the United States that get harvested for the United States military because there's just no other option for them really to get ahead. So they pick up a gun. And I think that that's OK to question the ethics, you know, in the U.S. I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with questioning the ethics. But I do expect it to be factual. I only question facts. If there's facts to be disputed, then that's fair game for anybody. It doesn't matter who it is, what country you're talking about, period. But this is Ukraine. So it appears that, you know, this was a wasted war. You know, this was a wasted war. I mean, unless Russia just wanted to get rid of a lot of minorities and have them die. Unless Russia just wanted a lot of their people dying, you know what I'm saying? Which they probably do, because if you got a lot of people dying, that's less money to share, right? You got less of a problem on the ground. That's 1 million people that won't confront you at the polls this year, right? Right? That's a whole lot of fucking people. 1 million people is a lot of goddamn people. Way too many people for to try to conquer a little ass country like Ukraine. I mean, it's not that small in reality, but when you compare it to Russia or the United States, it's fucking small. You know, but let's go. Let's
to launch an attack like this, as is becoming the kind of the symbolic way that both sides are fighting each other at the moment in this war, nevertheless sends a message to the Russian people and to the Russian president that Kyiv is able to bring the war home to Russia. And as the Ukrainian president called it a little while ago when he was at NATO, he said that all of these attacks are completely and utterly justified as retribution for Moscow's attacks on Kyiv. And subsequently, we've been hearing from the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, too, speaking ahead of that NATO summit that you just mentioned. Take a listen to what he had to say about the attacks last night.
We have the tools, and they are strong enough to put Russia on path where diplomacy becomes the only choice. We all see that Putin is now relying on one lasting thing: constant missile attacks. And he has ballistic missiles, so we need anti-ballistic capabilities.
So anti-ballistic capabilities there, Chrissy, what he's talking about is there has obviously been huge development in this warfare on both sides towards drone warfare, both sides able to attack each other with consistent ferocity. What the Ukrainians are hoping now is that attacks like these are eventually able really to force President Putin to the negotiating table, and the message that he's sending around Brussels today, the meeting at NATO.
Man, fuck Putin. In any case, listen, y'all, do me a favor. Click the like button for me. It helps more people find the video right now and also later, you know, so it counts. If you're not subscribed to the channel, the chat is open, so you may not have noticed that. So anybody, you don't even have to be a subscriber to be in the chat, but to be a good sport, be in the chat, because you know you're going to get some good commentary here. And it's not just me. I got my comrades too that come and back me up with some more pointed and precise political perspective on different topics. So you know how we do it over here. So you know, do me a favor, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Now listen, this is going to continue. I just think it was all a waste, to be honest with you. People need to be cautious about being drawn into war and making alliances with maniacs. Not just maniacs, but just be cautious. War is not good. Nobody should want war. Nobody should want that. I'm sorry, war is a total disrespect to this planet right now. This planet needs peace. The animals on the planet need peace. The fucking vegetables, the plant life, the insects, they need peace. The fucking air needs peace. The water needs peace. You know, there was no reason for this war to start. There was no reason for it. Russia is not doesn't have carte blanche, you know, over anybody else. It's a decrepit ass, huge fucking country that got huge because it colonized people at a time where no one gave a fuck about colonization. You see what I mean? That same time others were out conquering America, Russia was conquering Europe. They was conquering Asia. Yes, that's what they did. And did anyone care? Did anyone care about the Native Americans? Well, no one cared about the Asians either. Nobody cared about them. That's what it is. I'm not going to be the person walking around on Earth having some Eurasian looking at me like I'm the dumb one. Because I'm not. Because I acknowledge their history. Okay, you see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to have an American, Native American, or anybody else in the United States looking at me like I'm the dumb one, like I don't understand what happened in the past, like I didn't bother to pick up a book and learn something. You know, so it's the same thing in Africa, the same thing in different parts of Asia. You know, people need to understand just because you have a certain color doesn't mean you get along and your people get along or ever have gotten along. Or just because you had the same color doesn't mean that your people wasn't fucking in a brutal war with somebody else with the same fucking color. You get by this. And that's why I go back to this first initial comment. by this goddamn lunatic, that came on my page. Let me show it to people again. This goddamn lunatic. Hold on. Let me go. Can y'all see this now? This lunatic right here. Where is it at? Yeah, here we go. I think y'all can't see it. Hold on. Let me go here. Here we go. Can y'all see it now? Here, this kind of comment right here. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this. We have to be careful when it comes to political commentary. There's a growing trend, especially in the black community, to bootlick and buck dance for the Democratic Party. Most viewpoints. You see, black, racializing it. Look, you stupid black motherfucker, if you are black. Okay, every war is not about your goddamn skin, you stupid bitch. Hop up on the platform. Stop hiding yourself. If you believe in something, show your face. Stand on it. Anybody can say something hiding like a stupid little coward. Very simple. Okay? Voting shouldn't have anything to do with your color. It should have something to do with your standing in the country. Are you poor? Is your mama poor? Is your daddy poor? Are they struggling? Did you see your parents struggle? When somebody gets sick in your house, are they stressing out over the bills? Okay, when you're trying to go get an education, are you sitting there saying, well, I can't get this education. How am I going to get the money? I got to get a loan that's going to last my entire life. Are you one of those people? Think about that for a fucking change. And I don't give a fuck what party you're with. You're supposed to be saying the same thing. Give me what's mine. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why? What's the point of being in a party when you're not saying, give me what's mine from my taxes? What the fuck is that? Americans, don't let this little racialized conversation fool you from saying, give me what's mine. Give me what's due. If you're a Republican, you're supposed to be pointing at the Republicans saying, what the fuck am I getting for my taxes, bitch? You have healthcare, representative. I want the same shit as you. That's what you're supposed to say when you have a Republican in office, when you vote Republican. You're supposed to say, why do your fucking kids get to go to the best schools and mine don't? That's what you're supposed to say when you're a Republican. You're supposed to say the same thing if you're a Democrat. That's the low bar. Then you can get into all that other complicated shit after that. But right now, you ain't even got the low bar. Republicans don't even want the fucking low bar. They like, I don't want nothing for my tax dollars. That's wrong, Master Trump. What the fuck? Everybody else on earth is looking at these people like, what the fuck is wrong with them, man? What the fuck? Yeah. So what? You hate immigrants. Don't you want an education too? So you don't like black people. Yeah. But do you want to lose your home because your mama got sick? God damn. Don't you have priorities? Even if you're a racist, you're supposed to have fucking better priorities than that. God damn. They don't have it. They don't have it. You know. Anyway. You see that Putin's getting his ass kicked. He's on his way out. There's rumors that he's on the run. To be honest with you, there's rumors he's afraid for his life. And he should be. He should be, because that man is well hated in his own country for hoarding. You think Trump hoarded wealth? Where you think Trump got the idea from? Got it from Putin. Nobody that wants to have a good life would want Putin being their fucking leader or anyone like him, you know. So let's see here. Let's get on to the next one. Right. Big up to the Knicks. I'm not going to show the ceremony, but big up to the Knicks. New York deserved that one. Let's get right back to this one, though. Here, let me see here. Let's go. This is Peter Thiel.
Wired published some interesting revelations about Mr. Antichrist himself, Peter Thiel. Let's put this up on the screen. They got their hands on a leak which exposed members of Peter Thiel's secretive Dialogue Society, more than 200 of the world's elites registered for a retreat whose agenda runs from panels on cult building and sex to prepping for World War III. An associated app offers match.
Okay, you see that one right there? Prepping for World War III. So you should keep that in mind when you see these kind of things that don't quite add up. When you see these things that just don't add up and you keep seeing the same people show up to the party every single time. Listen, the Epstein files, these people wanted to rule the world. And World War III is a part of their agenda. And let me tell you, they wanted it to be a They have this philosophy, and their philosophy is that the average person is stupid, regardless of your color. Blacks, are stupid. White people are stupid. Most of the population on Earth can be tricked into civil wars where they will kill themselves. Most of the people on Earth can be tricked into cultural war where they will decimate themselves instead of look up at the wealthy class that want to own everything once everybody is dead. You see, so this is their philosophy. They know that. They know how easy people are to toy with their emotions. They know that most people are too triggered by reality to think about the big picture. They know that. But these people got all day to think about the big picture. They don't care. Look at Peter Thiel. He will join Trump's revolution that is homophobic. That is anti-LGBT, and he's a LGBT himself. You see what I'm saying? But he will funnel money to Trump because they believe in culture wars. Don't believe it for a second. This guy doesn't care about if somebody is LGBT or not. These Christians that vote for Trump talking about, don't talk about that to me. Is a man is supposed to be with a woman and blah, blah, blah. Right? That's okay. That's fine. I don't care what your philosophy is about that because I'm not trying to sleep with your ass. Right? But that's your own personal business, what you think. When we have conversations and we work together, it's not about somebody trying to fucking sleep with you. Why would I care? How can I prove who you sleep with? A man might go home with his wife and never sleep with her ass. You know what I'm saying? How do I know? If you don't tell me, I wouldn't know. And even if you told me, I wouldn't know because you telling me is not evidence. You see what I'm saying? So the only person you really know about is yourself. That's really what it is. But they love these culture wars. So they unleash this anti-LGBT culture war. A lot of people will fall for it and did fall for it. Then they throw in the Muslim thing. A lot of people will fall for it. But then you see Trump, he will bend to a Muslim any day if they got $1 billion. You see what I'm saying? So these people are extremists of their own right. And they will use people, that are, if you don't keep your thinking cap on and pay attention and take a step back and look at the big playing field on Earth, you will find yourself getting played. You see what I'm saying? And Peter Thiel is one of the masters of it. These people have had decades to sit back and communicate about how they are going to destroy the masses. And why? Because they see you as the problem. When people go out there and say, the water's getting dirty, not enough clean water, the air's not getting good. These are the kind of people that think, well, why don't we just kill a lot of people? That'll solve the problem. That's what this motherfucker is up to. They think like that. The answer is just kill a lot of people. And how do you kill a lot of people? You get them involved in wars, any kind of war. And if you got to create some civil wars, you create that too. And how do you create a civil war? By start talking about these cultural things, things that are really insane, things that are really insane, at this point. I advise everybody to go out there and get a DNA test. I do. I really do. Go out there and get a DNA test, and don't get one, get more than one, and get it from a real company. Okay. Find out where you come from. Find out where your ancestors migrated from. Find out, and if you find out you got a little of somebody else in there, don't be ashamed of that. Don't be fooled. That's worth knowing. And if you find out you got a lot of somebody else in there, don't be ashamed. And if you, I'm just saying, because the last thing you want to do is turn against yourself. That would be the biggest travesty. Turn against your actual self, who you really are, and just go for some theories about a nice story. Yeah, this story sounds nice. I'll take this one. My ancestors came here and did this, and we did this all about, and this is ours. We own this. This is ours, man. The God came down and said, "This is our land." Do you ever heard of the Mormon story? Mormons killed a lot of white people. Mormons paid Native Americans to kill other Europeans and Americans, man. And they believed that it was God gave them that land. Seriously, it's no bullshit. So you just have to don't fall for the same mistakes, people. Just don't fall for the same mistakes. None of us are better than each other. We're all the same at the end of the day. The only difference might be is that some of us, when we realize that we were wrong, we admit it and we move forward. That's the only difference. Other people, their ego is too big to admit they were wrong, or they're too ignorant to see what their flaws are. That's all. Like, just be happy you're alive. Be happy you're here on my channel. Be happy it's interesting. Be happy I'm not going to keep spreading lies just because, that's what I learned when I was 16 years old. Somebody who looked like me gave me a book and told me this is the problem with the whole world. And I just believed it and stuck with it. 20 years. Never seen nothing else. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fucking people like that in one way, shape, or another. I'm serious, man. There's a lot of people like that. They just But in any case, let's keep it going. Peter Thiel, y'all.
So
Peter Thiel.
the global elites looking for, other global elites interested in building cults. I guess that's the way to go about it. Let me read you a little bit of this article and the details of who was exposed here. They say some data lays down a program of off-the-record sessions, including "Money Does Buy Happiness?" ? Bring Back Nuclear, Navigating World War III, Battlefield Technologies, and How's Your Sex Life? Other talks include Build a Cult, moderated by the founder of the Christian networking site Pray.com, and Build a Party, run by a former White House national security official.
Paul says, "Don't block me. Peace." And then he gives the peace sign, y'all. So
together, alongside the mundane fare of a typical thought leadership conference, the documents show an extraordinary convergence of power. The registration records list General Alexis Grinkowicz, NATO's Supreme Allied Commander in Europe and the head of U.S. European Command, who took the post in July 2025 and is recorded on the leaked list as having attended dialogue gatherings since 2021. Also names sitting Trump administration officials, 2 U.S. senators, 6 members of the so-called PayPal mafia, a former Middle East chief of intelligence. Are you ever really a former Mideast chief of intelligence? And a sitting ambassador to the United States, along with the founders and directors of many of the country's largest surveillance data.
Are you hearing this? This is who they are, man. And this is the same thing. Epstein Island group, this the same. They all had their little groups. And those groups intermingled with each other, and it's just for the wealthy and the elite over the world, and none of them were doing it for the sake of the United States of America or the American people. And what you're seeing is their plan right now. Trump is part of their plan. Trump is such an unethical person that just is for sale, and these people knew that. They knew that the whole time. And if he's not for sale, then he can easily be blackmailed because he likes to put his dick on the table in situations that no man should be throwing their dick on the table for. You see what I'm saying? And then they blackmail his ass. And you got people out here talking about, Trump raped me when I was a little kid. Yeah. And you got a damn grown ass man saying that shit. Sasha Riley saying Trump raped him several times when he was a little boy, between 8 and 12. Yeah. This is crazy. So, if you're not for sale for cash, you could be, maybe your weakness is the fact that you're weird and you just like little kids. What's wrong with you, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? Maybe you have some bad social skills and you just don't know how can you be a billionaire and not know how to find a date the right way? What the fuck is up with that? That's some anti-social shit right there. That's antisocial. A poor man can go out and find a date anywhere. Anywhere on earth. I mean, maybe not too poor, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just mean it doesn't really take a lot. God damn, just a little money in your pocket. It's okay. Some clean clothes, a place to crash your head. Hey, it's a lot of that's so as long as it's clean and simple, shit, man, that's good enough, bro. You can get it on. And people like Trump got $1 billion and they don't even know how to find a fucking date the right way. They got to go out and buy women. They got to go out and rape little kids. Like, come on, man. This is just...
Grinkowicz, NATO's Supreme Allied Commander in Europe and the head of U.S. European Command, who took the post in July 2025 and is recorded on the leaked list as having attended dialogue gatherings since 2021.
Who is that man right there? Did you hear that?
Supreme Allied Commander in Europe and the head of U.S.
Supreme Allied Commander in Europe and head of U.S. what?
Leadership Conference, the documents show an extraordinary convergence of power. The registration records list General Alexis Grinkowicz, NATO's supreme allied commander in Europe and the head of U.S. European Command, who took the post in July 2025 and is recorded on the leaked list as having attended dialogue gatherings since 2021. Also names sitting Trump administration officials, 2 U.S. senators, 6 members of the so-called PayPal mafia, a former Middle East chief of intelligence. Are you ever really a former Middle East chief of intelligence? And a sitting ambassador to the United States, along with the founders and directors of many of the country's largest surveillance, data broker, and advertising data companies. So a lot of very elite names here. You know, this is compared to, it's sort of like a, I don't know, kind of like a private World Economic Forum, very, very secretive. They do ask for some like information about the people's interests and special skills. Members list talents like funhouse construction, accent imitation, backcountry skiing, urban exploration, and meditative and psychedelic inquiry into the nature of reality. They play matchmaker dialogue. Its participant form asks registrants whether they are looking for love.
Do me a favor, click the like button, y'all. It's like 80 something, 90 people, 100 people watching, only 20 likes. Please just click the like button. If you're here and you're watching, click the like button. It's going to help more people like you find the stream, okay? I appreciate that. But let's get the likes
and
up,
offers
please.
to include single man, single woman, or other respondents in future matchmaking. A separate site, dating.dialogue.org, hosts an app pitched as meaningful connections for exceptional people. Isn't that beautiful, Sagar?
Yeah, it's all a bit, it's actually a bit creepy. I'm trying to find the
oh yeah, okay, Raptor. Okay, Raptor. You with the group, the private teal group, I don't think you want to invite to that, bro. Really, this is for pathetic people, man. You know, and again, this is so sad. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, in my life, just doing music, right? You know, I've met a billionaire before in my life. I've actually met it, not just a one-off meeting. You know, several times, dinner with a billion. I'm not bullshitting you, in the music industry, right? And it's not a typical billionaire in the music industry. It was the money man behind Palace Records, New York City. That's 1994, 1995 is when I was doing music with my homeboys Giant and Storm, right? Out of DC. But Palace Records was out of New York City. And so they had a lot of local artists out of New York, from down south, from LA. E-Rule was out of LA. A few different people you probably know. A lot of different artists, right? But there was like going to be the competition for Bad Boy. So it's owned by a Japanese billionaire, right? So the dude Matsuo is mad cool. Matsuo's mad cool, by the way. Mad cool. But having said that, in that time, I got to see how people react to opportunity, and people react differently. So, and I'm just going to tell you this, and I'm not justifying anything that could have happened to someone, who knows, right? Or any behavior. But let me just tell you, you know, I'm a conservative person myself. So I don't give a fuck how much money you have. I'm just going to treat you the same as everybody else. Of course, I'm not going to hate you because you have money either, but I'm just going to follow the same rules. The same rules. If you treat me fairly and kindly, I'm going to treat you fairly and kindly. Just because you got $1 billion doesn't mean you not, don't know how to have fun, or don't want real relationships with people, real relations, right? It doesn't mean you don't value real relations with people or value other people, right? But I got the chance to see that some people will just lose their mind. As soon as they get an opportunity, they will offer themselves for something crazy that people will be like, okay, what's going on with this person? You know, why did they do that? And you will see that it happens a lot. And so what I'm saying is, here with these groups, yo, man, you don't even want to, don't even worry about it. If you wasn't invited, fuck that. It doesn't matter. It wasn't for you if you wasn't invited. There's plenty of cool clubs and people out there to kick it with. You know what I'm saying? That could do something positive for their communities. Because it's happening all the time, especially right now. Things are ripped down so much in the U.S. Anybody can make a difference right now. You see what I mean? That has some good ideas and is willing to put some effort forward. You know what I mean? People need shit. So, yeah, don't worry about that shit, man. You don't want to be a part of that club. I already know some billionaires. I would never pull my pants down for somebody. I would never sell my country out for a billionaire. I would never do any of this thing for any of these people fucking do. Are you crazy? I would not be on. You wouldn't catch me molesting some little girl just to be in a fucking group. Molesting little boys to be in a fucking group. You wouldn't catch me, man. what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You know, like, these people are fucking weird, yo. These people are weird. Like, it's just sad to see, but you know, people that have a lot of money don't mean they have a lot of ethics, and you can see it. A lot of them are people that are disturbed and need to go see a fucking shrink. You know.
I'm reading a book right now called Railroaded. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Which is comparison to the AI. It's about the financialization specifically of railroads. And he has, I'm going to butcher the quote, but I can't find the exact one right now, where he talks about his real discovery was the sheer mediocrity of the Gilded Age class. Is that the more that he learned about them, he's like, they weren't special. They weren't particularly intelligent. They actually were just...
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The more you meet, you know, right? Just having money doesn't mean you're an intelligent or creative, positive person. Sometimes they can match up. You know, sometimes you meet billionaires that got ethics. A few of them, I mean, the one that I met is not even American, is Japanese. So he don't even, he's coming from left field, you know, just wanting to own music, seeing music as art, just another investment. You see what I mean? That he can, if it doesn't go well, he can sell to Universal. You see what I'm saying? But I would definitely say the person is not weird like that. Nah. This person you would never catch like that. You know what I'm saying? I doubt it. But I'm not saying he's not wasn't connected to some Japanese people, but you know, that's a whole nother thing. But here's the case, like what he's saying, these people, man, you looking at them, Trump and these motherfuckers, these people, man, you shouldn't be so impressed by their money, because without that money, they're not that impressive, to be honest. And they can think some straight up ignorant, stupid shit, things that you got to be a person that's somewhat antisocial and disturbed to think of these things that they think up. Like, it's insane. But they did it, and they're telling you who they are. They really believe a lot of this crazy shit. Not all of it, but I'm going to tell you, the one thing that they definitely believe is that the average person, you ain't shit. You don't matter. Like, that's really... It just went to their head. The money and the power and the secrecy went to their head. And now the game is up. The cat is out of the bag. It's over. Once light hits this thing and people figure out what is going on, Americans are going to take their country back and fix it and make sure this shit cannot happen again. Like, this is ultimate betrayal, ultimate corruption. It's just sick, man. It's just sick.
Exceptionally good at like one very, very narrow thing, and spectacularly lucky, and that the world that they ended up making was not intentional. It was purely accidental, and largely that they were quite mediocre in their own right. Like, the more that he started to learn about them, and I was like, wow, that is so profound. Because being in this position, you know, I've met, you know, quite a few extraordinarily rich people, many of them who are billionaires, and you know what you will see are often glimpses of like, wow, I couldn't do that, in terms of like how they got their billion. But then they'll talk about something that you kind of know something about. You're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, it's like, you literally don't know what you're talking about at all. But the amount of confidence that they have.
Listen to this part.
Is of like profound. Because being in this position, you know, I've met, you know, quite a few extraordinarily rich people, many of them who are billionaires. And you know what you will see are often glimpses of like, wow, I couldn't do that, in terms of like how they got their billion.
Wow, I couldn't do that. So that's what I'm saying. There's some of these people, their ethics is totally fucked up. Like, that's one thing. You don't have to share that. That's where you're supposed to divert. When you meet one of these people and you see their ethics is fucked up, you are supposed, an ethical person and a moral person is supposed to know how to say, no, I'll wait for the next one that suits me better. But some people, they crumble just because of the opportunity, and they would also do anything to be down with folks like that. Like, seriously. Now, here's the next part. Let's hear the second part.
In glimpses of like, wow, I couldn't do that, in terms of like how they got their billion. But then they'll talk about something that you kind of know something about. You're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. And then Some of them are like, you're talking to them, you thinking that they're clever, and then you be like, what the hell did this person just say? Like that it makes no sense whatsoever. They're like that. And why? And some of them are like that too. Or some of them could be both ways. Now why? Listen to this part.
It's like you literally don't know what you're talking about at all. But the amount of confidence that
the money has given them, because too many people are yes men to these billionaires. Once you get this money, it's too many people are kissing that fucking ass. And let me tell you, an intelligent billionaire won't want people around them just kissing their ass. They're going to respect when a person stands up to them and tells them, yo, that ain't right, and I'm not going for this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want. Boom, boom, boom. A lot of them will respect that, but that's a person that hasn't lost their goddamn mind. You see what I mean? But the ones that just have poor ethics, man, all that yes man shit, people just doing anything for them, agreeing with them all the time just because they want to be in proximity to them, that goes to their fucking head and their ego. They just do things out of ego after a while. It is
then
insane.
They'll talk about something that you kind of know something about. You're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like you literally don't know what you're talking about at all. But the amount of confidence that they have from their success in this one domain that they bury over, the reason why I'm talking about this is that many of these Silicon Valley types who I have gotten to know quite well, not Thiel or any of these people themselves, but the kind of people who are around them, and it's like they fetishize being interesting is the way I would describe it. And that is why there's this whole like
fetishize being interesting. So if you just sit there and listen to them like they're a genius, you might get anything you want from them. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, but you could also be exposing yourself to something else, the psychopath side of them too, right? So let's see. Let's go on.
And being edgy, like the whole build a cult or sex. They're like, oh, are you aghast by that? Like they like to be offensive, and to like break norms and to gather. And I actually thought Nathan Tankus. Can we put E3 up here on the screen? Tankus, who says
he went to one of these conferences.
And he says, I would emphasize these kinds of people talk the same behind closed doors as they do in public. What was, in fact, the striking thing about how much of a rich or powerful person talk like they tweet. Any far-right thing you think a rich person is posting but couldn't possibly believe, they believe it. So, e.g., you should think about the ruling class, especially circulating around tech, as genuinely believing that low birth rates is the top problem currently. On electoral politics, the insane explanations rich people post about the election in 2024 are genuinely what they believe in private. Your average rich moderate Democrat at the week of the election genuinely believe Harris lost because of biological men and women's sports and it not being pro-Israel enough. Some I agree with, some, but like he's right. And again, that totally comports with what I have seen. One of the main funny things I've seen with a lot of these many rich people as well.
Let me just bring that back. Yo, do me a favor, click the like button. If you haven't clicked the like button, click the like button. It's how more people find the stream. Listen, the chat is open. It's not in subscriber mode. So if you're in the chat and you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you're in the chat and you haven't clicked the like button, do me a favor. If you're at home and you're watching on your TV, just pick up your remote and click the like button. I appreciate that very much. This was interesting what he was saying. So I want to hear this one more time. He made a comment about someone made a comment about moderate Democrats. So I just want to hear that one more time.
Bro, you have $1 billion and we're doing the same shit. We're just tweeting and talking about the news. It was proof. It's easy proof is that you could have all the money in the world. Pro-Israel.
Here we go.
The problem. Who says, he
went to one of these conferences.
And he says, I would emphasize these kinds of people talk the same behind closed doors as they do in public. What was, in fact, the striking thing about how much of a rich or powerful person talk like they tweet. Any far-right thing you think a rich person is posting but couldn't possibly believe, they believe it. So, e.g., you should think about the ruling class, especially circulating around tech, as genuinely believing that low birth rates is the top problem currently. On electoral politics, the insane explanations rich people post about the election in 2024 are genuinely what they believe in private. Your average rich moderate Democrat at the week of the election genuinely believe Harris lost because of biological men and women's sports and it not being pro-Israel enough.
Okay, so that's a very interesting thing. And you know what? I agree with that too. I'm not sure if everybody who heard it understands what was said there. But how I understand that is that a lot of the commentary regarding why Harris lost is because, you shouldn't be protecting these groups, or you should have done this about Palestine. Don't get me wrong, all due respect to Palestinian issues, that's a real crisis, right? But that's not why she lost the election. You see what I mean? And so people thinking that, no, it's not that simple. Actually, there's more to why she lost. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that she could have done better either on those I mean, how do you do better? How do you do better in that circumstance? Look, and it doesn't. She lost because people didn't believe in her, and because of tampering with the election. That's what I believe it is in any case. Yeah, I would say believe. That's what I ultimately believe. I think that people were stupid. Like, you have to understand the logistics of it. She is the vice president. No vice president talks against the current president, even if that vice president is running for office. Normally you're not ever in a situation where that could ever even happen. And she was, right? But, so people expecting them to tell you everything they think about a particular topic because it's campaign season is also not smart. That's not how things work. Did Trump tell you everything he believed in when he ran for office? No. And you gave that motherfucker your vote. You gave him your vote. So don't expect that you shouldn't expect that Kamala Harris was going to tell you everything she feels about the Palestinian issue or Israelis. You shouldn't expect that. And a lot of people wanted her to say something. I'm a person that believes, because I follow politics, I know that things happen sometimes that are unexpected. Like Obama got AIPAC money, but in Obama's second term, he actually did that deal with Iran that obviously all the right wingers hate. You see what I mean? Netanyahu hated that deal. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just as simple as people try to make it seem. Reality is not as simple as how people always, try to make it seem. It can have some bends and twists in it that if you're not careful, those things can bend and twist on you. Look at how many people, Muslim Americans or Arab Americans, I could say, maybe either one. You could fight over whatever that is, but I believe it's Muslim Americans. The data says voted for Trump. Didn't believe that Harris would do anything good about the Middle East, right? So they voted for Trump, and look at this motherfucker now. Look at how many Hispanics didn't feel like Harris was the one for them, and they voted for Trump. Look at what he's doing now. It's a lot of people like that should have believed in Harris. If you just give her a little bit, just be as patient as you are with the lady as you've been with men. Just start there. Why couldn't you just be as patient with the lady since the United States has never had a woman president? Why couldn't you just be as patient with her and real and reasonable with her as you are with the pedophile? Why couldn't you be? Why couldn't you be? Reasonable meaning, I'm just saying it. I'm just saying, no, I'm not bugging. Hop on up, Eugene. I'm not bugging. I'm not bugging. No. There's no reason why somebody who's pro-Palestinian should have voted for Trump. Period. No reason at all. There's nobody who's Hispanic should have fucking voted for Trump. Are you crazy, man? Nobody who's black should have voted for Trump. What's wrong with y'all, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? You guys are into some weird ass torture shit that you get off on your own torture and your own suffering. Like, what the hell is up with that? You didn't know what the Klan was? You don't see his relationship with the Klan? You don't see his relationship with extremists? They hate poor people. And they use everybody else against each other. They make you people fight each other. And look at what you're doing now. I mean, let's just keep it simple. Let's take a poll. Put a 1 in the chat if you like what Trump is doing. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that was the craziest fucking question on earth. Of course not. Okay, so yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you like what Trump is doing, and if you fucking hell no don't agree like Trump, put a 2 in the chat, and that will tell me a lot more about the rest of your comments, you know, because you have to be insane. Anything else coming out of your mouth in the chat is insane. From that point on, I get you. Are you crazy, man? Yeah, well, you must like what Trump is doing. So, no, you're fucking crazy. And please, what state do you live in, and who is your healthcare provider? Because I guarantee you, you ain't doing well on the healthcare side, you know? Yeah, now let's continue here. Let's continue.
I agree with some, but like he's right. I get that.
Next time you get an opportunity to vote for a moderate or a woman for the first time, you know what I mean, that cares about your health care, that at least talks about it, that cares about affordability, at least talks about it, cares about goddamn education, child care, elder care. The next time you get a woman like that and she's running against a fucking pedophile, vote for the woman. Okay, just simple
totally
and plain.
Comports with what I have seen. You know, one of the main funny things I've seen with a lot of these many rich people as well is, bro, you have $1 billion and we're doing the same shit. We're just tweeting and talking about the news. It was proof. It's easy proof is that you could have all the money in the world. You could be in this once happened to me, a billionaire. I did a monologue about years ago. Clifford Asness, who is this idiot hedge fund manager, was attacking me over, you know, pushing some economic populism. He was calling me like some socialist or whatever. And it was on Christmas or near Christmas. And he was literally in a Swiss chalet tweeting and angry about some monologue I had given. And I was like, there you go. I mean, you know, you have a guy here who's worth billions of dollars in a Swiss chalet who is just outraged at that time, some 20-year-old idiot on YouTube talking about economic populism. But it just shows you money can buy, you know, it can buy a lot around you, but you know, there's a deep hole inside these people. They want to be recognized, they want to be loved, they want to be edgy, they want to be interesting, they want to be, you know, they really want is validation from their peer group and from the rest. And you know, look, it's all fun and games, but they're also extraordinarily rich and wealthy, and they control a lot of the technology that we use on a daily basis. That's why I stay.
I somebody Smooth said Harris played into the hands. No, you played into the hands, because if you voted for anybody else but Harris, you played into their hands. Okay, because they don't give a fuck about you. And there's a difference from voting with you know, there's a difference. You know, again, it's very simple, it's very plain. Trump didn't care a motherfuck about you, and he pretended that he did totally. That's not Harris's or Biden's record. You may not like their record, you may not think it's perfect, but I think a lot of people don't know their civics, you know. And the reality is that Biden tried a lot of things that were shut down in the Supreme Court by the same Supreme Court that's attacking your civil rights right now, that's attacking voting rights right now. The same civil court, right? And when Biden was the president, they shot down a lot of things for the people that were voted on in Congress and passed by the Senate. They shot it down, you know. And these are things that are funded by taxpayers. These were things that were out to help the everyday American. They shut that shit down. And these are the same Supreme Court judges, the same ones that shut that shit down during Biden and Harris's term, are the same ones that's taking away your voting rights right now and doing a lot of other things, you know, taking away your First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, you know, trying to also a lot of different other elements. It's just across the board, you know. These people were working for these judges are working for the corporations, working for the wealthy. So until the courts are changed, you're not going to, until some of these justices are impeached, you're not going to get an America that is for the American people. So my suggestion is, you know, stop feeding into their hands, stand firmly behind the one you believe in more, and when the election is over, challenge them to their work then. You know what I mean? Don't worry about some of the superficial elements of it. You see what I mean? And also be very rational about it. Be very rational. Yeah, that, I mean, I thought about a lot of different aspects of that race. And one thing I realized, I knew from the start is that, listen, Trump is a billionaire. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody. He's down with it with goddamn what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, he doesn't care about anybody. He's down with Putin. He doesn't care about anybody. He's actually a sellout. You see what I mean? He actually wanted the Central Park five black men. He wanted them dead for something they didn't even do. I mean, a person that just hates the average people, you should never vote for. You know what I mean? And you ain't going to change America overnight. And it's not going to change by just who the president is. You got to be willing to, change a whole lot more than just the presidency. People need to come out. They need to start voting in their best interest. Don't vote for someone that is not for the people, that is not for the people getting what they deserve from their tax dollars. Don't vote for any House member that doesn't want you to have the same health care that they have. Period. No excuse. Don't vote for any House member that doesn't want you having just as good a salary as they have. Period. Don't vote for them. Don't vote for them. Period. Just don't do it. Okay? Because you're feeding into the classism then. Like, start voting for you. Start voting for your community. And you gotta be wise about this. The taxes that Americans pay is a lot. Only 45% of the taxes that Americans pay, left or right, whoever's in charge, goes to things that actually directly affect their lives. As soon as you leave the US, 60% and up goes to things that actually people can see, the average person. So there's a lot of classism just in the standard, you know what I mean? Just in the standard system in the US. So folks, my advice personally, if I could just chop this up, I don't want to stop too much. My advice is vote for more democratic socialists, or vote for more social democrats, ones that believe that taxes are for the people. Okay, they're there to benefit the people, not to benefit the corporations, not to benefit somebody like Elon Musk, who doesn't need any more money. He should be giving away shit. He should be doing science, should be for free. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't need any more goddamn money, and definitely don't support people that want the government spying on you. Like, really, like, straight up, don't vote for people that believe the government should be able to just collect your private information like that. Don't do that, man. You're supporting your own slavery. But don't get me wrong. People should be critical of Democrats, but be realistic and be rational. Be rational. Don't put the blame on one person, and don't put the blame on simply one simple idea. Like, there's a lot fucked up in the United States in terms of people not getting their fair share for their taxes. And that needs to be addressed across the board, from any politician, from any party. Every person, if you thought about that issue, regardless of who you were, the country would not be in this trouble. You see what I mean? Again, and when you go outside of the United States, right wing and left wing, they all believe in universal health care, pretty much. They all believe in universal education, pretty much. As soon as you leave the United States, when you get in the United States, all of a sudden, a party doesn't believe in none of that and is totally against it. And then the corporations are paying the politicians so much that they just vote against it every time. Try to find a way to convince the people that they can't have that, when actually you can, and you could have it. You could be the best example of universal education. You could be the best example of universal education. Instead, you're not even a great example of either one. Like, seriously, it's crazy, man. It's
dangerous.
sad.
Yeah, and they love these little cliquish things, whether it's
Of course they do. Makes you feel
Bilderberg or
important. Makes you feel
Davos
cool.
or but like all these things they love to do. They love to be inside the circle and know that they're special and not like the rest of society, and they're contemplating these big problems that us little peons couldn't possibly wrap our heads around.
Yeah, I see you, Smooth. Smooth says people didn't show up because the Biden administration are Zionists. Well, I think that's a wrong analysis. And I think that speaks to the crux of it. No, Trump is a Zionist. He just didn't use the term. You let him get away with it. People let him. They see, name calling is not the same as examining the data. The United States of America has always supported Israel. So to be like the Biden administration is Zionist, it's ridiculous. They're the ones that were actually restraining this dude. And so now you got the restraints lifted. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got. You may not. And again, if you think that presidents talk about foreign policy openly, just anytime you ask them, if you think that their job is to tell you everything they think about this motherfucker, you're wrong. No American, when you invest so much money in a country, any country, that's foreign policy that extends beyond one party. You're not going, even if you think something bad, you're not going to telegraph. A smart leader does not telegraph if they think there is a problem. And I think people mistook Biden not telegraphing for supporting. And there's a difference. You see what I mean? There's a difference. And now they find out what it's really like to have somebody support Israel, because you got Trump. And yeah, he's going to give them anything and everything, and he has. And the only reason why he's got an issue now is because there's just limits, period, to how much you could do anything, and but yeah, hopefully now, and regardless, you know what I mean? Look, maybe I am wrong about that. That was my analysis, though, at the time. That was my analysis. But I do think AIPAC is problematic, though. I mean, more than problematic. They're fucking over sovereignty, but Americans need to be smart enough to shut it down. The congressional members need to be smart enough to shut it down. The Pentagon has said it. The Pentagon has pointed out that they are a security threat. They've said that a 5 grade, the highest grade security threat that you can have, their activities of espionage on U.S. soil. So, people should take it serious. People should take it serious, and but in any case, that story is over now too. People don't have Biden to look at anymore. People don't have Kamala Harris to really look at. I mean, she's probably going to run again, but that situation is done essentially because now that Trump has become president, you basically can't do it's almost impossible for someone to do any more than he's done. I mean, he has, and Netanyahu has blown his wad, you know what I mean? On the American people in general. And he's blown his wad on Europe. I mean, him dealing with Trump, they showed everybody that they don't give a fuck what happens to anybody else. They're going to do what they want to do, and they're not going to consult anybody about anything. And I think that opportunity has created the situation people are in now, because now everybody sees that whether it's about Zionism or not, people see that they don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks. And that may be even more damaging than just being a Zionist. You see what I'm saying? Like the fact that you just don't give a fuck about what troubles you cause another country that supported you. I think that's going to be very damaging for Israel. It's going to be very damaging for Israel, but in any case, let's go on. Yo, Fries, what's up, man? Yo, speak of the devil. Somebody said Zionism and now Fries is in the chat and shit.
Another interesting part of the Wired article, they say what ties the roster together more than any title or office is a shared preoccupation with artificial intelligence, longevity, and the near future. Asked on the sign-up forms to predict the future, registrants returned again and again to the same theme, that AI will reorder work, war, education, and belief within a few years. Several foresee mass labor displacement and a swing back toward unions and government programs. Others predict an AI winter, domestic terrorism targeting data centers, criminal defendants choosing AI lawyers over public defenders, or religious revival provoked by the disruption. Social degeneration, predicted one person, will continue to accelerate. I think this is really important because, number one, some of the people that are coming to this conference and are saying these things about like, oh, AI is really going to fuck us up and social degeneration is going to be a mess, are the very people who are developing the technology and pushing for it in the Trump regime to be completely deregulated. So I think that's important to keep in mind. And then as we evaluate their actions, like for example, Peter Thiel moving to Argentina and all of them buying their doomsday bunkers and whatever, like these people, many of them genuinely do think that society is going to crumble, that there could be, existential stakes for humanity close at hand, and have this sort of nihilistic view towards things, which I think helps explain some of their approach and the way that they conduct themselves. It's deeply disturbing, frankly. Finally, to get to some of the specific names that are on the list, let's put E2 up on the screen here. This is Daniel Boguslaw flagged that the ranking Democrat member of the House Intel Committee is part of this secret society. Apparently, Cory Booker is on list too. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Senator Ted Cruz on the list as well. So
went to college with Thiel.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
They've known each other for a long time.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of names here, and a bunch of obviously Joe Lonsdale and people who were close, like he's a close associate of Peter Thiel. So that is not surprising. They say you've got lots of corporate executives, surveillance state types, government officials, media elites as well that are part of this secret group. And so, it really does shine a light on the way that they operate, the way that they associate, and the way that they're thinking about the world. So I think a noteworthy leak here.
I found the past. This is Claude's summary because it doesn't have access. Richard White's argument is that the transcontinental barons were not actually brilliant captains of industry they're portrayed as. His core contention is that these men were largely incompetent, that they built railroads in the wrong places at the wrong times. They succeeded primarily through corruption, government subsidy, political manipulation, rather than through any genuine business acumen or vision. He pushes back hard on the great man narrative of American capitalism and says they only survived because they had captured the federal government. The people who actually built the railroads, Chinese and Irish laborers, did the real work, while the men who got the credit and the fortunes were essentially skilled rent seekers rather than builders or innovators. Extremely cutting. I really, you guys should read the book. It's a very, very good book. But he opens the paragraph with that, and I was like, man, nothing has resonated with me so hard, especially in the age of AI.
But they think they're so fucking special.
That's his whole point, is that they thought, and they got lionized, the Vanderbilts and the houses and the Goulds and you have the libraries and their mansions on Fifth Avenue and all of that. I actually think the show, The Gilded Age on HBO, is quite good at showing the sheer silliness of this nonsense. It's like they're not smart, they're not special, they're not particularly interesting. Most of them are dull beyond belief. They're obsessed with the stupidest things. I bought one of the books of the original books from the Gilded Age by one of the characters.
Check. What kills me is that how people hear some of the things Elon Musk says, or even Peter Thiel, because they all speak publicly, and don't just see how crazy they are. Like, they really believe some of that crazy shit. And first of all, you have to be an nihilist to think that way. These people, like, if you take them at their word, what I comprehend from the statements that they make publicly is they want a lot of people dead. Like, that's what I get out of Peter Thiel, Elon Musk. The way they think is sociopathic. They basically, without telling you, see, they don't say the plain language. They go through loops, and they say it in other ways, right? And if your comprehension is not strong, you won't follow it. But basically, what I get from Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, and basically these other libertarians, pretty much, is that they believe it's easier to just kill a lot of people on Earth. Essentially, killing a lot of people on Earth will make the drinking water cleaner. Killing a lot of people on Earth will make the breathing. It will solve the dirty air problem. You know what I'm saying? Killing a lot of people on Earth, it's like, it will remove the issue of poverty. Then we won't have poverty anymore, and we won't have these people that a generation have been on welfare. This, like, really, like, and I'm telling you, middle class people, it doesn't matter whether you're red or whether you're blue or whether you're independent, you should all understand that, like, these people, they have no respect for your life whatsoever. You should be afraid of that. You should be totally afraid of that. Like, it is anti-democracy. Like, it is anti-democracy. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, they want you dead. They want you dead. And I'm talking about the average person. The average person that's in the United States, especially in the United States, they want you dead. Here's the panel link. The panel link is in the chat. Anybody can hop up. Anybody can speak. That is if you ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? Don't play it safe in the chat. The chat is the easiest place to be because the chat is even open. You don't even have to subscribe. But if you're a cool ass, if you're a chill person, you would subscribe though, right? Yeah. I think you would, since you're spending time here. But in any case, and you appreciate the fact that your views are allowed in the chat as long as they're respectful, right? Yeah. But I just really wonder. I have to question people's intelligence. Like, when you don't see a person that wants you dead, and you don't look at a person and see that they actually don't like you, even if they say it in a nice way, they actually are rationalizing killing you. They're rationalizing replacing you, and you still don't get it. These people, you know, a lot of these poor white Americans have these little clubs where they're worried about immigrants replacing them, you know, marching with tiki torches and shit. You won't replace us. Man, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Trump is letting them. They got a plan to replace you too with robots. They have a plan to take your fucking job. Isn't that ironic? Like, that's so crazy that they don't see that. They don't see the misdirection in it. You argue that the immigrants are going to replace you while someone else is building robots literally to replace your broke ass job, your menial job. You remember that job where you could carry a box and deliver a package, flip a burger, stand in a fucking line and put this shit up here. Yeah. Driving that truck with a goddamn that 18-wheeler with a big ass container on the back. They're tired of you people, man. You people want union jobs, and they don't want that. They can get a robot to do what you do. Okay? They plan on replacing all the monkey wrench jobs. all the people that just like are bricks in the wall. They plan on replacing you with robots. An immigrant just wants to, you know, have a fair shot at everything. But the robot don't give a fuck if you have a fair shot. These robots are not about giving the average person a fair shot. They're about, we don't need you anymore. If we can't get to Mars, then we got to clean the Earth up. So,
character's name is Ward McAllister. There's a whole chapter in there about how to pour champagne at a picnic.
Oh,
like, he has an entire thing. He's like, well, you have to flay it correctly and have the flakes and the champagne from the ice. And I mean, I'm sorry to go on about this, but to read about it is just to see the obsessions that endless wealth will actually lead you towards, and how bad it actually is.
And they're all obsessed with themselves. Like, it mentions this thing about longevity, you know, which we've seen. And transhuman. I mean, it's part and parcel of, first of all the just like obsession over how do we extend our lives and how do I look as young as possible and all of that. But also it ties directly.
I'm sorry, but look at this. I got to show y'all what somebody wrote in the chat right here. Someone just wrote, at least robots won't cut your head off. Who the fuck told you that, man? You still not getting it? That, who wrote that? A robot? Did even a robot wrote that? That sounds like a fucking robot wrote that. This is an AI robot talking about at least robots won't cut your head off. Who told you they won't? Shit, you crazy? Shit, man.
Directly into AI and transhumanism, this idea of like, oh, I could upload my consciousness to the cloud, and then by that way I could live forever. And it does take on a deeply, like, it is like a religion, genuinely. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me to see this, like, oh, how do we build a cult? You already did it in a lot of ways. The Silicon Valley AI believers, it is a cult. It is incredibly cultish in its views and has a lot of proto-religious dimensions to it. But, you know, for them, they're such narcissists. This like, oh, how do we build a cult? You already did it in a lot of ways. The Silicon Valley AI believers, it is a cult. It is incredibly cultish in its views and has a lot of proto-religious dimensions.
has a lot of proto-religious dimensions to it. Yes, proto, and that's the thing about it. A lot of people think that these people are somehow that they're above religion. No, they're speaking on a fundamental cultish language, all to their own, and they sound like they're a little savvy because they mix tech up in it. But no, proto-religious, you should be afraid. That means genocidal. That's what that means. Seriously, they want you to drink the Kool-Aid. They want to build a big Kool-Aid factory so everybody takes their own suicide pill. That's basically what it is.
But, for them, they're such narcissists. And they have to believe that they're special, because otherwise, how do you explain the life they live versus the life everybody else lives? How do you explain, how do you justify the things that you do, for example, to your workers, or the way that you're exploiting the planet, like any of numerous terrible things that they do?
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Soft tail right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Look at what they're doing in Ireland. Yeah, soft tail rider says, what are they still called? What are they still called? Immigrants just through a little one. Oh, you said one of the so-called immigrants. Yo, man, you're crazy, bro. Look, Europeans kill each other every fucking day. Why do you care when it's only an immigrant who does it? I'm not saying that's good, but you have to be blind to not see what the average person is doing to the average person any day of the week, man. Like, come on. It's same issues. I don't know if you're from the West. I don't know if you're from the West, but I am. And so therefore I know what Westerners do to their own people. And we do some shit, to our own people. And we have, the most of the crime in the West is done by Westerners. It's just that simple. Now, you might be able to make an argument that the smaller population of immigrants by percentage get involved in crime more. You might be able to make that argument, but that mass is still way smaller than the mass of the criminal activity of the Westerner in the Western world. You see, so don't get me wrong. You can deal with both issues, but you don't have to scapegoat one issue over the other. And you don't have to try to make one person look ethically better than the other. No, a criminal is a criminal. There's no better ethics to it. If you're a sex trafficker, it doesn't matter if you're an immigrant. It doesn't matter if you're a Westerner. You still lack, you're disgusting. You're fucked up. If you're selling drugs and you're a Westerner or you're an immigrant, you're just as fucked up either way. Why should you, how come if you live in the West, why do you need to sell drugs? If you live in the West, why do you need to sex traffic? If you're a Westerner, why do you need to commit any crime? If you're a billionaire, why do you need to commit fraud, tax fraud? Why? Why do you need to do that? What's the issue there? I don't get it. Maybe you should advocate for more opportunity in the right way for everybody. Maybe that's what folks should do. But scapegoating immigrants for problems is not advocating for everyone to have better opportunities. There's a difference. And you got to know the difference when it's time to vote. You need to know the difference before it's time to vote. And I'm not just saying this. I'm not saying that that's going to replace. To be honest, I don't even care if you don't like immigrants. I don't even care. That's not new. That's not new. The KKK in the turn of the century didn't like wetbacks. They didn't like Italians. They didn't like Jews. Okay. They didn't like Hispanics either. Okay. The whoop-de-doo. Okay. That's not special. That's not a new thing. Okay. But what I don't understand is, why don't you advocate for more opportunities for everyone when you need that yourself? See, that's what I don't understand. That shouldn't, advocating for more opportunities for everyone you shouldn't scapegoat that just for, let me deal with the immigrants today. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. That's irrational. And that's what I'm saying. Like, people got to wake up to that. I don't care if you go, you don't have to like an immigrant. You don't have to hold their hand. You don't. It doesn't even have to be about an immigrant. You don't have to like another Western. You don't have to hold another Westerner's hand. You don't have to like people just because they're Westerners or immigrants or whatever. You don't have to like anybody. You don't have to share. But you should be smart enough to advocate for more opportunities for just everyone, because if you're a Westerner, you represent the everybody more than anyone else. Like, what is up? What's up with that? You will be affected more by any policy that you make, one way or the other. So, yeah. But in any case, let me see who's going to hop up.
Humans and other species on the planet, you have to think that you're different and special, and you deserve to be. And so that makes them have this main character syndrome, where it's like, how could the world go on without me in it? And deeply narcissistic, so obsessed with themselves, obsessed with how do I make sure that I can live forever and my glory can continue to.
Click the like button, everybody. Do me a favor, click the like button. We got 150 people, something like that, in the chat or watching. Please click the like button. We only got like 40 likes. It's easy to do. Click the like button so more people can find the stream later. Let's go.
Down on
I'm waiting for Friars or Mike to hop up. Maybe they're busy. It's Sunday, but we keep pushing.
All of us. So anyway, not surprised to see that on the list of their obsessions.
Oh. Always good to check in with the ultra rich, see what their mind is preoccupied with. Which Argentinian steakhouse Teal will dine at tonight.
All right, let's see here. Now back to this Elon Musk shit. SpaceX. Some people invested in SpaceX late. Some did it early.
Gotta talk about.
It doesn't seem like. I mean, I don't understand it. I said this before, just from the beginning. If you didn't get it the first day or the second day, what are you doing? Don't do it, because the shit is going to crash. And why is it going to crash? It's because their main buyer is just the United States of America. It doesn't have room to grow. Elon Musk has. Him and Peter Thiel bring questions of integrity, sovereignty to the table when they do business. So everyone has watched how they have brought the questions of sovereignty and integrity to the table in the United States. And so no one else wants them now. So they don't have something to sell. SpaceX is going to run out of customers, because unless you're trying to go to third world countries that don't have a choice, nobody else really wants you. They're scared of you. They're scared of Palantir. They're scared of Thiel. They're scared of Musk. They don't want you around anymore. And so it's bad. It's bad for even SpaceX. So everyone could see, I believe I could see, and I think a lot of other people agree, you could see the hustle. It goes public. The people that are the original shareholders, they're the ones that's going to make all the money. Everyone else, if you buy in early, once it goes public, you might make some money. If you bought in on the first or second day, $30 or $40, whatever it is, $50, $60, $70, $80, great. You could have made some money. But look, if you didn't get it then, by 100, I don't know. It seems like a gamble, but let's look and see where it's at now.
As now we're coming out of peak bubble week, and effectively this thing is crashing. Let me show you guys what's going on. It says SpaceX stock sinks for a second day as company slips below Amazon in market cap. And if you're following this story, they're like, hey guys, it's now worth more than Microsoft. It's now worth more than Amazon. Look how fantastic this is. Will this be the most valuable company in the world? What are the odds? And that was actually the headline from CNBC. Here are the odds of SpaceX becoming the most valuable company in the world, right? It was so ridiculous. And, it's funny because, as fast as these things can go up, they can go down equally fast, if not faster. And this was actually Yahoo Finance today. I was watching it this morning. If anyone else saw this, you can write in the comments, but it was pretty whacked out because the ticker was glitching a bit. So it was like at 180s in that range, right? And then it would just like drop down to like 150. And it was like, what in the world? Was there someone dumping or something in the pre-market? So I don't know. I don't know what was the...
Yo, thanks, Fries. Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. You couldn't hear me. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I was just saying, Fries, these red lines, it's probably from someone who was an original investor, right? And they bought in for $30, $40, right? Something like that, or maybe less. Or a person that bought in the first, second days for a whole lot, right? While it was cheap. And these red lines right here, it's a whale cashing out, right? What do you think?
Like Donald Trump or one of his kids, because they knew the deal from the beginning,
Right.
and so they bought in, they cashed out, and they're going to buy in again. I mean, I understand these guys are using AI. Everything is AI right now, so they're asking AI, and they're getting all these predictions, and they're running with it. That's the world that we're living in I think right now, and I think someday somebody's going to write a book about it.
Yeah, and something, Fries. Anybody really invest in the stock market, this is not a natural occurrence. These lines, they never move like that. They usually go gradually up and then gradually go down. But maybe some go down faster than the other. But this is not a down. This is like a boom. I just sucked it all out.
It appears as somebody knew at a certain time of day, and they all coordinated together, and this is, we're going to dump right here, so they all dumped. Boom. Ooh. And they cashed out, and then the price dropped down, and they all bought again.
Yeah.
What happened? They did this a couple of times.
Yeah. So somebody got the word in the morning, right? Because look at where it happens. It starts at 8, something like that, 8:30 in the morning. 8:15 in the morning, something like that. The first one, then the second one is like a little after that, and then 9 coming up on 9 o'clock. An hour later, they're done. So in that 1 hour, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whales dumped in that 1 hour.
Yeah, I guarantee you, this is somebody using AI at the highest level to do this.
Yeah,
and they're betting. And I mean, someone will investigate it and determine how much was actually sold, how much was bought again, so that we can get some numbers, and then they'll trace it back to the right accounts. And I'm saying that they're part of MAGA, whoever it is. They're part of the administration, I think.
Yeah.
Like, this is the ultimate insider trading, and it's so very public. But the question is, will anybody be held accountable?
Nobody's going to be held accountable. Well, someone will be. I won't say nobody. Listen, if there's enough pissed off American people, someone will be held accountable. If it's lukewarm, like 50%, 60% are pissed off, nobody's going to be held accountable. Not the way they should be. So that's not enough participation to get things done. Every American needs to be enraged about 80. We need 80% of America to be fucking enraged. And what I mean by enraged is banging on your congressional member's door. It's the only reason why these people would not get anyone, not even just these people. The only reason why anyone would get away with any crime is because American people allow it. And they don't hold their elected officials accountable. That's the only reason, right?
Well, let's be real. Okay, so we can make a list of the violations of the emoluments clause Trump has done so far in this term.
Right.
Okay. And number one, we can make a list of all those those that we're aware of that are already doing insider trading, like Eric and his son, his youngest one, Aaron.
Yo, you cutting out, Fries.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It was just scratchy a little bit. Go ahead.
That's a perfect little spot to sit, but unfortunately it's scratchy. But Barron Trump has been noted for doing insider trading. Melania has her own coin, so she's people doing it for her. I know that she probably personally do it.
Right.
Wyckoff, his son, he's doing it. So this is going on throughout the administration. I mean, you remember the one guy that ended up reporting on he made a bet on the date and time that the raid in Venezuela. Comes to find out it's like a special op guy.
Right.
That's never happened before.
Now, let me just say this. You know how this works, right? If you have a stock app, how people do this, you can set your buying thing to happen at a certain number. You can set that in advance. So if you want to play the market, and you're a billionaire, if you know when the whales are going, it's all about knowing the whales. The whales conduct the business here. The whales know when they're going to sell out because they're the ones that had the stock in the beginning. So they know where they're going to, they know when they're going to sell, and they know already when they're going to buy back in. So they could have it preset You see the lowest marker where that red line is? They already have a buy set to happen when it falls. But the problem is that they're the ones that have all the money invested in it. So when they take their money out, right, the stock goes boom, and then they buy in again at a lower thing. So they just made billions when they sold out, and now they're going to make billions again when it goes back up. That's crazy.
Yeah, but now the question is, who are the whales?
Right.
And honestly, you look that up. You can determine that. I can tell you one of them is one of the Saudi nationals. That's the one of the big guys.
Okay.
So you look up who the whales are, and you can tell who the whales are. But a lot of them are foreign investors. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Russian oligarchs involved in this. I would hope they're being sanctioned so that they can't get into it. Only people that they stop from getting into it were the Chinese.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, that's interesting.
Well, so this is the problem. How can a public company that has a military contract go away? Like they're giving him the highest military contract right now, and that's going to be the SpaceX. They're trying to connect it with our satellites, with the Space Force.
Yeah.
And it's if they have a contract with the military and they're doing military satellites and they're doing all this stuff, how can they, China be one of their biggest shareholders if we go to war with China? That's the problem.
Because it's unethical. It doesn't make any sense, right? They're blurring the lines with everything just to make a buck. They don't care. There's nothing about security. They don't give a fuck about what happens once they're gone.
I'm not really sure. I mean, the truth is, I just think it's a risky investment because we don't know how long it's going to last.
Right.
Next administration might come in and just get rid of SpaceX. They may bring in Blue Origin instead.
Yeah, that's very likely.
Or some other company. I mean, I would hope so because Elon Musk, when this is over, should be under investigation. First, the old investigations that were going, and then an investigation into if he interfered in the elections in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they should look overseas. If France was to talk to him, send him over. Anybody, we're going to abide by ICC, and if another company or country like Interpol has a problem, I think we should start working again with them rather than this thing what Trump has done.
Right. And actually, and how this works is, since it's about opportunity, and since it's about people that are into this kind of industry, most of the people just want to work, right? They're willing to work for any company. They want the opportunity to work. And even if they work for Elon Musk, that doesn't necessarily mean they like him, right? They might jump on somebody else's train if they had the opportunity and ditch Elon Musk, right? So how Americans can look at this is just say, don't think that this is like you need Elon Musk or you need SpaceX. No, you don't. There's loads of people that would love to do business with the American people. They're a dime a dozen. And a lot of the people from working with SpaceX would gladly dump Elon Musk in a day if they meant they could work for somebody else where they could do the same work. So when you're dealing with engineers and people like that, they just want to do their work, right? The problem is the ethics that the upper, the ones that own the companies are involved in, and like I was saying, Elon Musk, nobody wants him. That his ethics are they're just corrupt. It's all corruption, So, and Peter Thiel is corrupt and dangerous. His shit is just dangerous. But let's stick to this. Look, it says Elon Musk is the main culprit here, the ultimate whale. But let's look at the others. You got Elon Musk was virtually the only whale in the beginning from 2002 to 2008. Then it went on.
Right.
Even after going public in 2026, Musk remains the dominant whale, retaining 42% of the total equity, controlling 85% of the voting power through a special class of super voting shares. But founder fund Peter Thiel, led by Musk, former PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel, was the first major institutional venture capital firm to take SpaceX seriously. They stepped in with the critical investment of 2008, right after SpaceX successfully launched its first Falcon 1 rocket into orbit, because they bought in when the company was valued at a fraction of what it is. Think about that. And Peter Thiel just ran to Argentina, right? Or he's running there. He's running somewhere. because they bought in when the company's value was a fraction of what it is today. They reaped monumental returns when the IPO went public. Now the next one is Draper Fisher Jurvetson, DFJ, led by the prominent venture capitalist Steve Jurvetson, who also served on SpaceX's board for years. DFJ was another early institutional whale. They jumped in alongside Founders Fund during the company's early funding rounds, securing a meaningful minority stake while agreeing to terms that kept all strategic voting under Musk's hands. Okay, so Alphabet, Google, and Fidelity, the growth stage whales. While not seed investors, Google and Fidelity acted as a massive secondary whales when they collectively injected $1 billion into the SpaceX in 2015. At the time, okay, we're getting hot. Early employees, okay. But let me see. There's Gwen Shotwell. There's Tom Muller. Okay, now let me see. And who else bought in?
These guys are already invested in the company. This isn't who bought stock.
Okay.
In 2026. This is who was there, before they went public. So they're wells within the company.
Yeah. So they're wells within the company.
Public, people put money in to buy those shares, and so that's the question of who is that big as well.
So we got Bailey Gifford, United Kingdom, right? Edinburgh's based assessment management giant was arguably the most successful international early backer of SpaceX. That was in 2018. So by the time 2026 IPO, their initial bets had multiplied 25 to 28 times over. SpaceX grew up nearly 18 to 22%. Okay. Some of their fund portfolios netting UK's firm's billion in profit. Okay. So the Middle East Sovereign Wealth Fund, SpaceX soared past $1 billion. In the later private years, few entities had capital required to anchor its massive private placement rounds. The Middle East Sovereign Fund stepped in heavily. Okay. Public investment, PIF, Saudi Arabia seeking to diversify its economy into tech and aerospace. Okay. Then you have Mubadala and Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, UAE. Yep. Based in sovereign fund. Yeah, exactly. So these are people that bought in after the IPO opened, right? 2026, sure. I think, right?
Yeah, after 2026, yeah.
And then you have Kuwait Authority, KIA, and Qatar Investment Authority. Both funds secure $1 billion plus allocations. I'm just curious about who is invested in these groups. Kuwait, who owns stock or who owns part of these companies. But in any case, let's see. High net worth Asian tech investors, Singapore-based firms like Turn Capital bought roughly a decade ago. Okay, that's still out there. We're still before though. SoftBank Japan. This is still early.
I didn't know that Kuwait and those guys are already invested in SpaceX.
Yeah, exactly. We're still in early investors. RIT Capital Partners, the Rothschilds family. Okay, that's 2025. That's just before it came public. Okay, so let's see here. And who else after it became public? I'm curious because this shit just became public. We're only talking about the whales here, so let's see who else. If there's any more, Okay, so now we're dealing with it. Mainstream retail investors. $15 billion. Retail giant tech, AI tech partnerships, hyperscalers. Okay, because SpaceX had rapidly built out a major AI data center. Okay, Anthropic. Damn.
Oh, really?
Anthropic committed to a massive cloud computing retail deal worth $124 billion a month through. Damn. Alphabet, Google again, locked in a separate $30 billion. Okay, they're talking about with SpaceX. But who? Okay, major space and innovative. So does this mean that they? Okay, no. This is still the ticker. Major space innovative ETF, because SpaceX was previously locked away in private equity. Major exchange traded funds, ETFs, and mutual funds had to buy shares immediately upon public listing to rebalance their portfolio. Okay, Team of Space, Barron First Principles. Who the hell is that?
Barron First Principles? Yeah. I really hope that's not Barron Trump. Where are they from?
ETFs, RONB, and ER shares, private public crossover ETF, heavily absorbed the newly floated public shares, with SpaceX instantly jumping in at 13 to 16% total weighting in their actively managed funds. Okay, that's interesting. Wall Street Index. Okay, because of space. Let me see. Damn, who is Barron first? I'm curious in that. Well, in any case, this is what it looks like. Somebody did some shit. Maybe someone did something here. This is irregular. This is not normal. That's not normal stock movement. Yeah, it's not normal. So we know that who and how and what. I mean, not how, but who. That's going to come. But this, when the stock looks like that, that's not normal. That's not produced by regular stock investors. That's not produced. Yeah. In any case, that has to be big time buyers.
I think we should all be very concerned because Elon Musk really, again, it's right out of Sun Tzu's Art of War. You know, he was fighting with his back to the ocean because if he lost that, he was going to go to jail. Okay, this is even worse. If he might lose, he might go from being a trillionaire to being in debt if this all goes bad. I mean, if SpaceX loses his military contract, if he's charged and convicted for 17 felonies with 11 different organizations, like 17 cases, if 4 of them stick, he has 50 years in prison. What happens to the company stock? It goes to garbage because the person that might get that contract, again, the number one contender would be Blue Origin. Unfortunately, he's gotten so close to Trump. There's so many smaller up and coming companies right now that could take those contracts. Rather than giving one to one company, give like 4 different companies.
Right.
And they work together, to do this.
Yeah, to balance the power, so there's not this incentive. So there's not this inroad to corruption. So such an easy inroad to being corrupt. This monopoly shit doesn't work, man.
I think it's worse than we think. I think Elon is so desperate right now and so into it. I mean, he has to cheat and do whatever he can because if he loses, and you don't think he's using Grok and everything within his power to look at the future and to do whatever it takes to win.
Right. I agree. It's going to be an act of desperation happening. The closer they get to the midterms. And he's basically, I mean, could you imagine him not trying to interfere with the elections the way he did the last time? Not commit fraud, at least, right? He's going to over. If midterms, right?
Yeah, he has no choice. This is what I think even Marjorie Taylor Greene was warning recently, and because I don't pay attention to her, but I saw her. She's like, they're going to rig the elections. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. And she's trying to rat on Trump and them.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So, I mean, man. I mean, it's to see if this voters thing passes because, if you read it, you see why he really needs it. He needs to reduce the number of people. I mean, he needs to have it just like it was for the LA vote. Remember how that was? In the first few hours, Spencer's ahead in second place.
Right.
And then that's what Trump wants so that he can cut it off afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
I never understood how, even in 2024, we see how long it's taking California to do the vote. How did California not have the votes?
What do you mean?
I mean, they had the votes in 2024. So you've seen how long it's taken LA to do the vote count, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it took almost 2 weeks. That's not as big of a turnout as there is for the midterms.
Right.
I'm sorry, for the 2024 general elections. Okay, that's not. So how did the voting get done so fast that Elon was calling it 2 hours ahead when LA can't even get their votes counted for at least a couple of days?
Yeah, I agree. That was a similar pattern in the East Coast. He called some elections too early, and people were like, well, how does he know? Yeah,
but worst off, it went that way. But how did no one do it? Did no one count every single vote? I mean, I just really don't get how much faster that election closed than they normally do. So that's why. But again, Trump wasn't in charge, was he? Republicans were.
Facts.
But Trump wasn't. So
Right.
I mean, where I was, I thought something was kind of shady. You know, they were like controlling mail, not mail-in ballots, but the ones that you send out overseas. Like if you're out of town.
Hold on. What you said? That's the one I get. It's overseas voting.
What is it called? There's a term for it.
Let me see. That's what I use. Let me see here. What is it called?
Yeah, but basically, for people that weren't, it was like militaries and people in Europe.
Yeah.
Like they acted really weird about that. Like, you know, that's the only thing I'm gonna say. So I thought there were. That was 2024, but I never paid attention to it.
Okay.
Like I was in a very red space. They did. I mean, she definitely lost, but they were like, you know, they canceled 3 million ballots. They didn't say anything about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just think we have to be a lot more vigilant this time for the midterms.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's people need to pay close attention this time for these elections and see how they progress. And yeah, but we know that they're going to do everything to try to suppress. Trump hasn't even tripped out yet. He hasn't even, this guy, he's already just said to everyone, like, he's going to send people out there. He wants the Proud Boys to go out there and monitor polling stations, So that means he wants a mob at the polling stations. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, it will be a bother, but I don't think it's going to reduce votes. I think what harms votes, though, is they're closing a lot of polling stations.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to close polling stations because the less polling stations they have, they're usually in poor neighborhoods, and so they're counting on them not being able to vote.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They want to hinder voting in general because they feel like when voter turnout is low, that's when Republicans win, essentially, right? That's kind of the idea.
True, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of been the general. Yeah, go ahead.
Look at what Trump, when he had a low voter turnout. Well, we saw the voter turnout in 2020, but both him and Hillary, 2016, but both him and Hillary had less than 50% of the vote.
50%, less than 50. Okay, him and Hillary
each had 50%.
Okay,
yeah, him and Hillary.
Okay.
Hillary had 48. He had 49.
Okay.
No, question. Vice versa. Hillary had 49. He had 48. Remember, she won the popular vote.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
So, but both of them were 49% on the popular vote and then 48% on the popular vote. Okay, with Harris and Trump, same thing, 48%. That's what Harris had. Trump at 49.5.
All right, let me see. Let's hear some more about this Elon Musk stuff, and then there's one other thing I want to check out. A few different things, but let's keep it going. Let's see here. I hope people click the like button. If you haven't clicked the like button, y'all, let's go. Let's see here.
It was apparent. That's why you see all these like lines dropping down. So I knew something was up. And again, there's been a couple days of selling. Now, some people are trying to convince you to buy. So for example, this is Henry, or his handle is Lord of the Alts. There is one stock that everyone needs to buy. That's according to Henry. That is SpaceX on any substantial market pullback. Buy at 150, buy more at 100, buy even more at 80. Wow. SpaceX will be $800 to $1,000 within 2 to 3 years. Many will regret missing this obvious opportunity. And that's after Elon Musk is telling y'all they're going to have $1 trillion in revenue by 2030. Okay. This is someone from our community responding to the current action of SpaceX. It's called late stage capitalism, folks. Okay. People put all their money on mere speculation and risky bets. Companies' values are no longer based on the good they sell or even how profitable they are, but instead are solely invested because others put their money into it, right? So basically, we're not concerned about, profits. We're not concerned about earnings, revenue, whatever. It makes no difference. All we worry about is like, can I convince other people to buy it? And if I think other people are going to buy it, I will buy it too. And I've actually heard people in our community said that they have friends who act like that. Oh, well, it's Elon Musk. Everyone's going to buy said thing. It's just going to be awesome. And if that's your investment thesis, I'll just say this: it doesn't turn out well in the long run. And in fact, even in the short run, people are already underwater. So this was actually from CNBC today. They say here the average SpaceX buyer post IPO, so that means if you didn't get in early and you came in late, is almost underwater after 2-day slide. So the average person, and then they actually had a chart here. I'll show it here. So this was the opening. So SpaceX, if I remember correctly, if you got in early, basically you had to subscribe this thing. It was like 135 you would get it at, and then it opened to the public basically on the open market at 150, 160. So it was pretty volatile. Spiked up to, again, like here it's saying 222, but I want to say that's the close. I want to say hit 224, 225 at the very peak, something like that. And then currently we're in the 180s. Now, what's interesting about this is SpaceX, they're underwater too. They have a bunch of debt. I think it's 29 billion total, and they're going to try to refinance some of this debt. It says SpaceX bankers prepare for bond sale of at least 20 billion. Yes, they're trying to figure out how to work out their finances, which is kind
of, this is what I was saying in the beginning. They don't have any customers. The only customer is the American people. So when they went public, they're asking people to invest in a company that is basically hated. No one wants to do business with SpaceX. No, because of Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and what they've done in the United States to harm security and sovereignty. No one else wants to do business with them. They're on their way out. They're in debt inside of the United States of America. And the real buyer, the only one keeping them up is the American people tax dollars. That's it. That's all this is. And yet there's people out there that actually believe that in 2 years, 10 years, man, 2 years from now, soon as the next president is in office, it's over. The relationship between the taxpayer of the United States and fucking SpaceX is done. Overnight. It is over. And all the people working for SpaceX that aren't big, they're going to leave and bring all their little engineering skills to the next company that's in. It's probably going to be one, two. Like Fire said, the next U.S. government isn't going to give any contract to just one. They're going to spread them out. It's not going to be just two. They're going to spread them out and make them have to do real work. No more monopoly. No more getting your taxpayer dollars the easy way because the king just gave it to you that way. It's over now. So yeah, you throw your money in that shit if you want. I won't be doing that. I'm gonna stick with gold, and I'm going to stick with Europeans' weapons industry, the mid-grade ones, not the big ones, but the middle ground ones, because the middle ground ones, they cover a lot of contracts that the big ones are too slow to do. So so the middle ground weapons manufacturers in Europe, they're on the rise, also because a lot of EU money is pumped into it, also because the politics demands it at these times. The war in Ukraine, the attack on Ukraine demands it. The idea that the United States won't be there, in NATO anymore, that is on the rise. So let's see here. Let's go.
Kind of ridiculous considering that they supposedly just raised, I think, 85 billion with this sale, and now they want to issue a bond. It says bankers for Elon Musk's SpaceX are preparing to hold calls with investors as soon as next week to discuss a potential bond offering on the heels of the company's record IPO, according to people with knowledge of the matter. And I don't know, this might be like in this scale. I mean, everything's historic here, like the biggest IPO in history, then followed by a bond sale. It's weird. Okay.
Scamming 101. American people coming, instead of them taking the money that they made from the IPO and paying off debt, they just going to leave the debt to the American people and just keep the IPO. It's like nothing to do with it. So you build your company on the American people, basically tax dollars. You leave you leave that in debt, and then you go somewhere else. This is just scamming. It's just hopping around scamming. And when it's done, when they finish with this, when the next president is in, they're going to hop to another country, and it's never going to take off again. It's done. It's done. Which shows you people that are doing engineering, people that are working in defense, people that are working for nations behalf, people that primarily get taxpayer dollars from people of different nations. You should you should keep your hands out of the politics. You know, you should be pro-democracy. You should be pro-democratic institutions. And outside of that, stop leaning either way towards parties. Like, just stick with the idea that you work for the American people. Just stick with that idea. You see what I mean? But that's not what Elon Musk did. He came in with his rhetoric, his high Hitler shit. He came in with get rid of the, you know, all these kind of culture war things. Peter Thiel also, that's where they came in. And so that's made them, basically, that's going to make everything they do drop now, because people don't want. Now, when they made the IPO, when they started selling on the stock market, that's a great idea to scam, because hey, you're going down anyway, so you may as well get some of the people that want to make a quick buck. That's not nationalism. That's not about, you know, pride in your country or anything like that. That's different. You see, so the debt that the company has, that's going to be paid off by the taxpayer. So you should not want that if you're an American citizen. Everybody else buying in, they may not, into the stock market, into SpaceX, they may not even be American citizens. They may not even give a damn about the United States of America. They may just want to make a buck and be like, fuck you, Americans. Fuck your country. It's a lot of people. Yeah. People around the world buying into this shit. Just you see what I mean? They don't give a fuck about your reality in the United States of America. They don't give a fuck if you have to bail out SpaceX. They don't give a shit. You know, they don't give a shit about Peter Thiel getting every American's private data. They don't give a shit about that. They don't give a shit about authoritarianism. People that buy into SpaceX. It's not guaranteed. You know, it's just about a buck. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I think a lot more of this is tied together than we realize.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot more of this is tied together than we realize. This is just my belief.
Yeah.
I believe that Elon Musk is absolutely addicted to asking Grok, or whatever his own personalized Grok is, about what the future holds, about what to do. I mean, all these things are tied together. Like him, I think Peter Thiel is the same way. Like, you know, we've already heard about what Peter Thiel thinks and his whole Antichrist thing, you know, which he thinks is the person trying to stop AI. that's the Antichrist to these guys.
That's crazy.
But
yeah, that's
that is it. He thinks what's her name? The activist that got arrested in. She's from like Norway.
Oh, right. I know what you mean. Yeah. The black brother, right? The union guy, right?
No, the female, the one that came over here before, and she was like talking about, you know, cleaning up the environment, and then she went to Gaza.
The young lady. Yeah, she's from what? Scotland, I think. Something like that.
No, she's from Scotland. I think we're both wrong. I think she's like Sweden or Norway.
Oh, Sweden. Yeah. She's Nordic. She's
Germanic,
Nordic. I know you're talking about. But the young lady. She's a young lady. Yeah.
Something. Yeah, but he says that he thought she was the Antichrist. According to his, again, I think they're getting this stuff from AI. Yeah. And so I think all this stuff right now. So
Thunberg.
Like,
yeah,
for example,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Thunberg. Like Trump. I mean, Elon Musk basically talked to Grok, so what do I have to do? Greta Thunberg. That was it.
Thanks, Super Demon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thanks. He and I think Peter Thiel did the same thing, and you know, AI told them this is what you have to do. Like Elon Musk knew he had to get a hold of, you know, the agencies to get rid of the investigations into him. How much? How much paid Donald Trump? I guarantee it told him pay him $200 million and they'll do it. Like, what's the least amount I can get away with?
Yeah,
$200 million, and it worked. So far, he's winning. So far, and again, you know, they talk about black magic. Black magic lasts for a very short while, but then it's overturned 3 times. 3 times bad, 3 times good. That's in the Wiccan Creed. So he's using black magic to win. But something that I heard, what was this? BB Netanyahu.
You on fire, bro? You on fire, man? Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard? BB was talking about like how Jesus Christ is not as important as Genghis Khan.
This is
holy shit.
This is
crazy. Did you hear that? So tie all this together, and basically these guys really believe that evil thrives. And because remember, this is Elon Musk said that what did he say? Compassion is the weakest part of humanity.
Right.
So that tells you where their mindset is. All this is tied together. There is kind of a new age, a new world order group coming along, but they're dark-hearted tyrants.
Yeah.
And that's what Elon is. And so Elon and these guys right now, they're winning, dude. He's got SpaceX. Remember, he was into marketing. That was his thing. That's what he did for PayPal.
Moloch. They into Moloch. Yeah, that's true. Ball. They into the dark. They into the dark spirits, bro. They into the dark shadows.
Well, I said that, but I said he was into marketing.
Oh, okay. No. I'm reading the chat.
He was marketing.
I'm reading.
He's definitely Marduk and all that stuff, and we can get to that later. But I mean, you've heard of this whole new club that Peter Thiel has. Like, what is that back to Epstein again?
It is.
But all these guys are connected. They're all the same course. Peter Thiel is still working with his buddy, and they're all together. One guy controls the data. And then they get the AI in there, and then they connect their AI with the military AI, which has been around since the 90s, probably even 80s, and predicting things. Because this is what they use. They're doing, like, Grok killed people in Iran, and Grok probably planned the attack on the school, which may have been a deliberate attack, according to Grok. So this is getting in a very dangerous place, and I guarantee you, Elon Musk is not doing this little bit, being the richest man in the world, and letting it all go to zero.
Yeah, he's not going to just take chances on losing power.
Yeah,
he's not going to take chances. He don't want to go to jail, so he ain't going to take chances with that. He's going to do everything he can right about now before these midterms, basically.
Yeah, I think us, you, me, in the chat, we're fighting against time. We're fighting against, like, a universe that we have to make sure it doesn't come to be. Like, we have to stop his universe from happening. Because these guys believe in a zero-sum game. Do you know the term zero-sum for the chat? It's basically like what is it called? Political theory, IR theory, international relations theory term. It basically means if there's me and you either have to own it or I have to own it. Like having it, like talking.
Yeah. It's going to be some losses.
I talk.
Yeah, it will be losses.
It's complete loss. Zero-sum game means that they can't win unless we lose.
Yeah, they cannot win unless the people lose. That is, and it's really, you correct, bro. And that's, people need to wake up. Like, they plan. They tell you how they think. They tell you what their plan is, and they show you how they work and move. And it is at your loss. Look at SpaceX. They're going to leave. Look, how do you have a company in debt in the United States of America, in debt? Who do you think they're going to leave the debt to? Who do you think they're going to leave it to? Who do you think pays that debt? And at the same time, they turn it into a private company where they get more people buying in, where you got whales that's going to sell it out to. Like, yo, this is total, complete, utter scamming. It is total. And so when you think of the people that way, when you think of the average person that way, it means you don't care about them. It means you don't care, and they can't exist. There has to be a point where people have to ask themselves, can they exist while you exist? And what does that look like? What does your existence look like when they get their way? What does it look like? It looks like you losing the mortgage to your home. It looks like you losing your health care. It looks like you dying because some other little disease is coming out of fucking Argentina. It looks like, they're letting in some worm, all kinds of bad. They're just not doing their job for the American people. They're getting your tax dollars. They're supposed to be using it to make you safe. And they're just turning a blind eye to everything that's going to harm you, hoping that you fucking die. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And then they have a political element that is arguing that they are doing good. You have ignorant ass people that actually still trust these folks. Like, they prey on the poor and ignorant. Like, it is terrible. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. And I think the people that aren't poor and ignorant, I know one thing for sure. These are the people that's where the people that's going to be fighting for real. Because everybody's not fucking poor and ignorant. We might be poor, but we ain't ignorant. All of us, you know what I'm saying? Like some of these people just are drinking the Kool-Aid and are ready to go commit, just give their entire life to these rich folk, you know. But then the others, no, we're not going to do that. That's not, being poor is one thing, but just giving your life to these people, no, that's too much, you know. Something got to give. So, yo, Friars, you on fire though, man. I appreciate the commentary, bro. I appreciate the commentary. I hope people listen, man. I hope people, because I don't like, sometimes you remind me of my grim assessments. I mean, I think I've said what you said before, but I can't say it every goddamn day, bro. And
yeah, I mean,
and hearing it from you in the way you express yourself and the way you break things down, it just lets me, I have to say thank you actually, because it just lets me know that no, I'm not the only person seeing this, bro. Like, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
You're seeing it from outside the box. Like I'm in the box looking at it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna like the Trump supporters, look at the reason they won is because it was a low turnout. And if it's a low turnout again, which is that's their number one goal. Like, remember, AIPAC would rather the Democrats have a low turnout than to lose power, because they are in power. They're in power right now with Trump. They were still in power with Biden. They were in power with Trump before. So this is basically 12 years of them being in control. And I don't think AIPAC wants to lose it. Like, they're going to lose it all. If the next president comes in and he says free Palestine in the Oval Office, or free Palestine in his victory speech, it's over for AIPAC too.
They don't want it.
And they know it.
Yeah.
They know it. So they need Trump to win again.
Yeah, because
so
you know
they're paying both sides, but there's like look at
and he doesn't even, the next president doesn't even have to say free Palestine. It's just if they believe this person wants to make sure that this theft of Palestine stops and the treatment and that the conflict ends, and make sure that they have, you know, their rights, their nation, their rights, and that their rights in their nation are also protected. They don't want that. That's going to be like, for them, that's like Armageddon.
So let me give you an example. Yeah. If AOC won, AOC would be very reluctant to say free Palestine. If Gavin Newsom won, Gavin Newsom would not say free Palestine. If Graham Plattner ran 8 years from now and he won, he's going to say free Palestine.
Okay.
So there are those out there that if they win are going to say it, because what it means that everything that base that voted for you really want it. It means you're going to stop funding to Israel. It means you're going to look at that new proposition, NDA, you know, was it 0800?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. HR 8800. HR 8800. Yeah. Section.
You're going to hit that.
Section 20.
You're going to tear it up.
Yeah. Section 224. Yeah.
Yeah. It can be repealed at the next. It can be repealed at the next Congress.
Right. So it can be repealed, but they say that once implemented, it can be repealed. That's true, because the next Congress will be voted on in this fall. It will be complete this fall, right? But if implemented before that, every day that they're working on implementing it, once it's fully or once it's sufficiently implemented, they say that it will be harmful it will put the U.S. in a precarious moment to when it tries to repeal it or pull it back if it is allowed to go too far, because what's in it is basically allowing Israel to be integrated into our industrial military complex, like fully integrated, pretty much, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's insane, bro. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get it so that the U.S. not just buys parts from Israel, but uses parts from Israel.
Yeah.
So on the backside, when somebody comes in to wake up, they'll realize, oh, they're spying on us. Right. Oh, they're using this to spy on us. Right. Oh, they're tracking us doing this. And again, if that should happen, and everybody involved with it should be charged with espionage.
Yeah.
And then the next Congress that comes in needs to basically make Israel register as a foreign agent, like AIPAC is registered as a foreign agent.
Right. Right.
So we're so far away from that. And the worst thing that can happen is Israel is spying on us. But the best thing that can happen is that we catch them.
Yeah. Yeah, facts. That's the best thing, right?
Yeah.
And
It's the best thing.
it's going to
They're
happen.
gonna
Though.
wake up a
It
little
is
bit.
going to happen. They're caught already.
They're setting themselves up for failure. They're trying to get wrapped up in the military. Like I knew something was up when Netanyahu was saying, "Well, we're not going to always take donor money or not take money from the government."
Right.
What? And that's because of this. They've been having this in the work for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. They've been. You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. Great assessment. This is not overnight work. This has been in the works for 20 years, basically, right? Something like that. Yeah.
No, longer than that.
And this Elon
been the work
Musk,
since the 90s.
Yeah, since the 80s, right? Mid 80s, something.
Hey, can I point something out real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is something that this is kind of on the lines of this.
Yeah.
One of the things that the government has never, as like going back to Ronald Reagan. Back in Ronald Reagan, they were trying to get the United States to merge everything into a space element, to have the Space Force. That's how far back SDI was actually getting a Space Force. And the next president came in, George Bush, said, hell no. And the reason why is you don't want to put all of the agencies under one banner.
Right.
See, with the Air Force doing this, with the Army doing this, with the Marines doing this, Navy doing this. And so each president read the proposal and they kept it separate until Donald Trump.
Right.
So he's the one president that you can pull the wool over, and putting all of them together is really bad. Just like giving all this power to Elon under SpaceX is really bad.
Right.
But link that with Israel controlling like another part of it and everything, so that they can spy on us, and the U.S. has really gone way, way, way out of whack. Like we are the punk of the world right now.
Yeah, we insane.
We have
bro.
billionaires
We
coming
crazy.
in and buying everything. We have Israelis like writing into a contract where we have to let them spy on us. And we're making a deal with Russia where we guarantee that we're going to pull out of a war where we'd help the other side, that they might have actually been able to, make a difference. Because destroying their arsenal that Russia has should always be a part of our plan.
Right.
Because when they have it, they just use it on other people. But yeah, I'm very concerned with this Elon thing. It's really going to be way worse than we think.
I agree, bro.
And Peter Thiel.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's going to be worse than what people think. And America, somehow we don't know what everything that they have up their sleeve, but there is definitely loads up their sleeve, and people just need to wake up and be prepared to deal with it. But I have faith in the American people, bro. I have faith in the majority, of the American people. I believe the American people are going to work this shit out, bro. But yeah, it's still going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, man. Yeah. Expect some interesting things to happen out of nowhere, right?
It's happening right now. It's all kind of coming together for them, but yeah, it's falling apart. I mean, it's like the reflecting pond.
Right. Right.
Trump, everything he touches turns. He kills everything. Everything dies. He's got a black thumb. Instead, he has a green thumb. This one time, obviously, with that. But have you seen images of DC? Like how it was completely torn apart. All the grass is gone where the octagon was.
Right.
The East Wing's torn apart.
Right. Yeah.
The reflecting pond is complete garbage. I mean, that's kind of how he's made the world.
Right. Yeah. That's how it's reflected. You're right, bro. I'm not going to interrupt you, Fries. I'm going to let you keep talking because I see you're on point, and yeah, go ahead, man. I'm not going to cut you off. Go ahead.
I mean, we should all just kind of keep, like, you keep me on this, but keep an eye on what's going on with this SpaceX thing. And again, the money going up and down. I mean, how is that not fraudulent?
Right. Right.
But if it all, I mean, again, I personally think he's using Grok. I think all this is part of a plan. I think we're in such hot water that AI is really kind of running things right now. We don't even realize it in our government.
Right.
Not in every government. I mean, they're running the war with in Ukraine. Have you seen that? On both sides, they're both using AI.
Right.
Except and the Europeans were now. So I think these guys just went to the EU Peter Thiel, a bunch of these guys,
They
try to
did.
make a deal with them to avoid U.S. regulation. That's the reason I'm doing it, to avoid the regulation here.
They're begging the same people that they sent their puppet JD Vance out to fucking ridicule. Like what? How bullshit? Yo, Europeans, you should never sit down. The fact that they sent JD Vance to Europe to talk down to Europeans about their culture, about their nation, when you should never do business with any of them, because you need to send a message of, wait a second, we may not be perfect. Wait a second, we may as Europeans have some different views on politics, but motherfucker, you're coming from the United States, coming here talking about what's going on with our culture. Your country is shit. Like, you don't even give a fuck about your country. Like, how dare you? That is how Europeans need to send them home. And let me tell you, if you do business with these people, fuck them in the end. That's what they deserve. You know, because see, it's one thing to disagree. It's another thing to have the nerve to talk down. I'm just saying, bro.
I agree with you, but you gotta take this into consideration. 2016. They're like, what? Who won? The Donald Trump won? Well, he might be pretty good, and then they realize, oh, this guy's a Putin puppet. He's an asshole, and he's an idiot.
Right.
All right, and then we get rid of him in 2020, and they take a big sigh of relief. Whew, glad we'll never deal with that. And then what happens? We let him back in.
Right.
We, as a nation, let him back in.
Yeah, we did.
Europe right now is just, we did it. And I think right now, everything JD Vance is saying isn't JD Vance's words.
Like, none of it is his words. It's part of the plot. It's part of the snake.
This is audience,
right?
It's an audience of one, dude. It's an audience of one. This is all for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to freak people out with JD Vance right now. They're trying to create different lanes. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are trying to present different lanes for people to accept later. So the next 2028, they want to have the next president set up. So they know they already put JD Vance out there because they spent money getting him to be the vice president. So then they're going to have Rubio. The Republican Party is going to have all Peter Thiel, Elon Musk frauds in there. You know, like all. They're gonna have three pretending like they disagree with each other.
I mean, he was a long-term investment, which I think he did through his AI. That's how I think he got Vance. But look at Vance is actually working out for him. Like Vance right now, when he went over there, just my opinion, this is what Donald Trump wanted him to say. And he pulled through his office. He says, "I want you to say this and this and this," and he'll do it. He doesn't care. Like JD Vance will change like a chameleon. You know, and when Donald Trump dies, who is his new handler? His original handler, the guy that got him in there, Peter Thiel.
Exactly.
So all this goes back to that in the end. Like they don't care about destroying the relationship with Europe. That's kind of part of their plan. That's part of the billionaire plan to begin with. Remember, they want Greenland.
You know,
they want to make an enemy because they need Greenland big time.
Everything that the Europe, Canada, Greenland also is a part of that, right? Denmark. Everything that these countries are about, at least this is what they practice: democracy, people having a right to vote, having many different political parties. So when you have many different political parties, that kind of that are willing to work together and just follow the rules of the basic democracy, right? This is what Elon and Peter Thiel and them, they hate that. They're like, don't do that. So they don't have a problem with attacking Europe, because the real cultural problem they're having is that you all believe in having political parties. You believe in having political dissent. You believe in voting. And the voting has produced what? Universal health care, universal education. You even got the right wing that is for, even in Hungary, right wing is for universal education, universal health care, even the right wing and the left wing. So they hate that, because these people can't make money if you can't devalue the average citizen. That's what that's about. So the average citizen is not devalued across these other countries, right? I mean, the UK is not part of the EU. I have to say that. But you know what I'm saying? Let's take Greenland, for example. They got universal. The Greenlanders, the average Greenlander, not average, all of them, universal education, universal health care, right? Trump doesn't like those things. Look, why does they hate that particularly in Greenland? Because Greenlanders are pretty much majority natives, right? Natives to Greenland. They don't want that country existing under Danish rule because the Danes were willing to have it like that. The Danes and the Greenlanders are tight. They're tight culturally too. They're not just. It's not just a a make believe thing that them Danes are trying to control. No, there was an issue with that they worked on, and Greenlanders run Greenland. You know what I mean? In partnership, because they know their relationship to Denmark. They have cultural ties to Denmark. So they're not trying to just get rid of the cultural ties either, right? They have a strong relationship. But here's the thing. If you look at what's going on in Greenland, look at the natives in the United States of America. The natives in the United States of America are on the bottom. They don't have nothing, bro, except some casinos. That's it. That's what they've been giving. Yeah, Trump don't give a fuck about no Native Americans. You know,
he no. I'm talking about the Native Americans, the natives on Greenland.
Yeah,
indigenous people. Trump. This was his plan. We'll give them $20,000 and they'll leave.
Yeah,
like read the deal. That's what he wanted. So he didn't
say that one more time, Fries. What did he want to do with Greenland?
Well, look it up. I think he offered them 20. The deal was they were going to give them. And you can check and look this up. I'm pretty sure the number was $20,000. $20,000. And then they would leave. We buy your land for $20,000, and then you get to go wherever you want to in the world.
All right, let's look that up.
And look that up. See how much it was. But that was the plan. Was to get rid of them. And again, because so all of the minerals are on sacred land or protected land.
Let's listen to this, bro. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is what came up. This is insane. This is insane.
What did it
say? Why did it not come up all the way though, man? What's going on?
What did it say?
Why did it not? Hold on. Something's happening here. For some reason, it didn't show up all the way. Let me see if I can get it to pop back up here. It's saying something about $10,000. Let me let it play though. I'm just going to play it. Here we go.
I thought it was at least 20.
Yeah.
When referring to Barron First Principles ETF, RONB.
Oh, no.
Ron Barron, along with his family, firm, is the mastermind behind it. When referring to...
Sorry about that. One more time. Sorry about that. What did Trump offer Greenlanders to leave Greenland? This is insane, man. This is insane. It was actually up. I don't know why it came back down. Maybe that's some Trumpian bullshit. Here now I'm gonna play it. This is wild, bro. Let's see here. Here we go.
During the geopolitical standoff over Greenland, reports surfaced that the Trump administration had internally weighed a radical cash diplomacy proposal aimed at the island's population. Rather than asking residents to physically pack up and exit the island, the proposal was designed to convince Greenlanders to sever their ties with Denmark and join the United States. The offer, up to $100,000 per person. In internal White House and State Department discussions, officials floated the idea of making direct cash payments to Greenland's approximately 57,000 residents. The amounts, the proposed payouts ranged from $10,000 to $100,000 per person. The total cost, if executed at the highest amount, the plan would have cost the U.S. government roughly $6 billion. The strategic goal behind the idea was to use financial incentives to bypass the Danish government's refusal to sell the territory. By offering life-changing sums of money to the local population, the administration hoped to foster a domestic movement within Greenland to break away from the Kingdom of Denmark and enter into a Compact of Free Association or territorial agreement with the United States. Why does the U.S. want Greenland? The administration's aggressive push to acquire the territory is driven by a mix of national security and economic interests. Critical minerals. Greenland is incredibly rich in rare earth elements and minerals that are vital for military technology, electric vehicles, and semiconductors. The U.S. wants to secure these resources to prevent them from falling under Chinese economic control. Arctic strategy. The island occupies a highly strategic military position between North America, Russia, and Europe. The response. The cash for sovereignty concept was immediately and firmly rejected. Greenlandic Prime Minister Mute Burup Egede and local leaders shut down the proposal, calling it an annexation fantasy, and reiterating that the island and its citizens were not for sale. The Danish government and European allies also reacted with anger, which contributed to the broader diplomatic gridlock over the territory.
All right, check this out. I just want to play one other thing. Click the like button, y'all. If you haven't clicked the like button, do me a favor. Yeah, we got to get the likes up. But check this out. Now, let's compare the quality of life of the average Greenlander to the average Native American in the United States. This is insane. Look at this.
Comparing the quality of life between Greenlanders, roughly 90% of whom are Inuit, and Native Americans in the United States reveals two populations dealing with the heavy, intergenerational scars of colonization. While both groups experience stark socioeconomic and health disparities compared to their respective national averages, their standard of living is shaped by very different political and social systems. 1. Health and life expectancy. Both populations lag significantly behind the broader populations of Denmark and the U.S. life expectancy. Asterisk Greenlanders. The average life expectancy is approximately 71.5 years, 74.2 for females, 68.9 for males, which is roughly 10 years lower than mainland Denmark. Native Americans, AN, have a similarly low average life expectancy of 70.1 years, 73.5 for females, 66.7 for males, making it the lowest of any racial ethnic group in the U.S. and nearly 8 years lower than the U.S. average. The mental health crisis. Asterisk Greenland has one of the highest suicide rates in the world, historically averaging over 80 per 100,000 annually, heavily concentrated among young men in isolated communities. Native Americans also experience a suicide rate that is roughly 20% higher than the overall U.S. population, deeply intertwined with high rates of substance use disorders and historical trauma. 2. Healthcare systems, universal versus underfunded. This is where the two populations diverge the most, dictated by the Nordic model versus the American model. Greenland. As part of the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenlanders benefit from a universal, government-funded healthcare system. Healthcare is entirely free, and the government frequently pays to airlift patients from remote villages to the capital, Nuuk, or to Denmark for specialized treatments. Native Americans. Healthcare is primarily delivered through the Federal Indian Health Service, IHS. However, the IHS has been chronically underfunded for decades. Native Americans are significantly more likely to be uninsured, around 19%, than the general U.S. population, leading to massive gaps in preventative care and high rates of untreated chronic illnesses like diabetes and heart disease. 3. Socioeconomics and poverty. Greenlanders benefit from a robust Nordic social safety net. Denmark provides a massive annual block grant, worth over $600 million, that subsidizes Greenland's infrastructure, education, and welfare. While the cost of living is exceptionally high because almost all food and fuel must be imported, extreme poverty and outright homelessness are mitigated by state housing programs. Native Americans deal with much higher rates of severe economic distress. Approximately 21% of Native American families live below the poverty line, compared to 13% nationally, and on certain isolated reservations, unemployment can exceed 40% to 50%. Infrastructure gaps on reservations are also prevalent, with thousands of homes lacking reliable electricity or clean indoor plumbing. 4. Sovereignty and cultural preservation. Greenlanders enjoy an immense amount of political self-determination. Under the 2009 Act on Greenland Self-Government, they are recognized as a distinct people under international law. They control their own domestic parliament, judicial system, and natural resources. Kalaalleq, Greenlandic, is the sole official language of the country, meaning indigenous culture is embedded in the state apparatus. Native Americans hold tribal sovereignty over reservation lands as domestic dependent nations. While they have their own governments and legal courts, their sovereignty is frequently limited by U.S. federal oversight, land use disputes, and Supreme Court rulings. Because of historic boarding school policies designed to erase indigenous identity, many Native American languages are critically endangered. Summary comparison. Metric. Greenlanders, Inuit, Native Americans, USA. Life expectancy approximately 71.5 years, approximately 70.1 years. Healthcare access. Universal, free, Nordic model. Underfunded Indian Health Service, 19% uninsured. Economic safety net. High, subsidized heavily by Danish block grants. Lower, high poverty rates on reservations, approximately 21%. Political autonomy.
All right, so there you have like some of the data differences between the U.S. Now, they actually have the nerve to want to offer them $100,000. Man, $100,000 ain't shit. $100,000, man, that's going to be gone in your lifetime. What are you going to, a house? How much does a house get? Where are you going to move to? What are you going to get? You know, what about after that? Do you know that healthcare is worth $100,000 and just for one operation? I mean, 2 operations, that $100,000 could be over. You see what I mean? So, yeah, it's crazy. Fun fact, Trump still has 944 days left in office. Maybe, you know, maybe he's dies.
How many days left in office?
Sean 9267 says, fun fact, Trump still has 944 days left on. I don't think Trump is going to live that long.
Does he have that many days left in office, really? 900? Is it
944?
Is it now?
No. It's now. Maybe it is 944, something like that. It's 3 years, under 3 years. It's just under. It's like 2.5 years.
It's under 3 years.
Yeah.
It's 2 years and like 4 months.
But look, he ain't gonna. I mean, I don't think he's gonna live that long, to be honest with you. And I don't envy Trump the person. You know, I don't envy Trump the person. So, and I don't envy his policies. But I don't live in the United States. I'm an American, but I don't live in the United States. So I don't have to live under Donald Trump like Americans do. If you live under Donald Trump, it's most likely that someone in your family or you have economic problems or problems. Yeah, economic problems, period. Like you have problems accessing healthcare. Like I don't. So, you know, at my age, I like healthcare. I like going to the doctor and know that a bill is not being held over my head every time I want to have a blood test to make sure I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I think preventive medicine, preventive healthcare might help you live longer, you know, but, you know, if I lived in the U.S., I'd have to think about that because then I'd have to think about how much money I have in my pocket. But let's be honest. Most Americans have someone in their family that's not doing well and doing even worse under the Trump administration than they were doing under Biden. So if that's what you call success, hey, go for it. But I'm not you. I'm an American citizen, born and raised in Washington, D.C. Family goes back to the colonial period on both sides, but I live outside of the U.S., so I don't go through that experience. You know, thank God. Big up to Denmark and big up to other countries that care for their people. You know, big up to Greenlanders and shit. Big up to Canada. Yo. Big up to Sweden, Finland. What's up? What's up? Big up to everybody, and big up to countries that are like, fuck Elon Musk and fuck Peter Thiel. They can be the slave master of Americans if Americans want a slave master, but the rest of the free world is like, man, we ain't with that shit. Sorry about that. You need to pay taxes, motherfucker. You ain't better than us. You need to pay your fair share, okay? And if you have way more, then that means that fair share, that percentage should still be the same as me. That's how it works, buddy. That's how it works. We in this game together. At least in the U.S., these motherfuckers don't even, not only do they not pay what the average person pays in percentage, they don't even pay shit, these billionaires. So in any case, I appreciate that. Look, Fries, man, it's almost coming on 3 hours. I'm going to do another stream later on today. It's Sunday, so it's the morning to a lot of people in the U.S. Big up, good morning to everybody who's just waking up. It's 12 noon in the EU right now where I am, Central European time, Copenhagen, Denmark. Big up to everybody in Copenhagen. I will be back this evening, and I'll be back in the afternoon USA time, and that will be closer towards the evening Central European time. So I appreciate everybody for coming out. Look, do me a favor. Click the like button. Please, that's how this works. More people find the stream. More people like you will find the stream. If you've been here for 10, 20 minutes, you like it. Go ahead and you like the content. Go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot. It means that we get to have these conversations more often. So I appreciate that. Yo, Fries, I'm gonna let you close out, bro. Cause this is your day. So let me let you close out. Anything else? What should we do in the next stream?
Well, I think what we're doing is, like, I'm curious to see what Elon is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And next stream would be nice. Let's take a look at the charges that he had pending when he shut down USAID.
Let me take a
and
note
the
of
other
that.
agencies.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's because, again, the way that the way that we differentiate ourselves from them is information.
Mm-hmm.
They rely on whatever Trump says, or they rely on whatever the media feeds them, and that's why they're talking about are the same, and they don't want to look at the actual facts. And I think our chat looks at the facts, and that's what we have to start doing, and we have to start encouraging others to look at the facts, like what's really going on.
Facts.
Remember, Elon is a master of disguises because he's a marketing guy. He puts on this happy face and he does that, but there's something very nefarious going on.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now with this stuff, with this SpaceX.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the number one thing I think we should do is just kind of pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Start making the
most def, man. So the next stream we're gonna start off with Elon Musk and his charges from USAID, see what he's facing, and then take it from there. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Big up, Thanks, Fires. Yo, Fires. Let me see something. Let me put your tag in the chat so people can subscribe to your channel. Even though Fires doesn't really do lives on his channel right now, but he will in the future. So, or possibly, they shut. For people that don't know, they shut Fires' ass out of Facebook.
It was over the Epstein stuff.
It was over the Epstein stuff. So they don't like. Fries had a lot. Go ahead, you tell them, Fries. I'm gonna let you tell them. Let me prepare this. Go ahead.
I just overnight I started taking somebody sent me something. I started looking at who the mega group was, who all the different donors that Trump used, and they were connected to Epstein. And I made like 100 straight posts down on my page of just that information. And they were like, "Yep, that's too much, fucker." And they took away my account. Like, I didn't know it was a bad thing to talk about Epstein. I had no idea. And I lost my account. That's why you got shadow banned a couple of times for that, didn't you?
Yeah, I got shadow banned twice, bro. Like going live and all of a sudden it's like one viewer. It's like, what the fuck?
They did not like you talking about Epstein.
It could happen. You say the wrong thing and it can happen. Yeah. But listen, people need to understand that's why you have to subscribe and you have to click like. That's how you fight the shadow bans. Listen, I've been shadow banned a few times. Like, they don't send my lives out to a certain demographic of people anymore. When I first started, I would get like 50,000 views on any video, and they weren't even as solid as this. But then something I did or I said was wrong, and then woof, then it got cut in half, and I've been fighting that ever since. So how you fight it is by subscribing, and how you fight it is by liking the videos and share the videos, because they can't, the more of you subscribe, the more the information is going to get out. And trust me, this is a corporate world we live in. You need to understand that as an average person and know how the algorithm works. It is in the corporation's favor, especially if you don't fight back. If you don't promote the kind of media you want to see, the media that you think is fair, you're going to find yourself in a world where it's only corporate. It's going to look more like corporate news. It's going to look like CNN. It's going to look like Fox on YouTube. So be wary of that. It's going to look like, I'll just leave it at that. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. Yo, I'll be back in 8 hours from now. So 9 hours from now. So everybody have a good start to your day in the US, and everybody in EU, I'm gonna see you outside soon. All right. So big up to everybody. All right.
Bye.
Peace, everybody.
What about the kids? Don't forget the children. Tell them about the children. What about the children crying? Yeah. Digging, scratching, working, struggling, hoping. Some is hustling, every man hustling. Stay alive, that's the game. It don't matter if another gets slain. Pain, recession, other cats want a war. We got the weapon, people want bombs, so they gonna get them. This is the rhythm, the politics ticking. It's sad how we living in this life. It's gonna be a time that we change. Shit is not finite, life is the same. Motherfuckers killing each other to make a claim. Stop that bullshit, you have no respect for each other. You know the truth, you come from your mother, your sister, your brother. So love one another. If we make that change, the whole world will do the same. So listen.
Only this wonder, we let the children dying. What about the children crying? No.
What about the kids?
Don't forget the children.
Tell them about the children.
What about the children crying? No.
Yeah, I wish someone Yeah, tell me, when is the suffering gonna stop? I see time ticking, fuck your watch. There comes a time when man steps to the plate, but it won't matter if your mentality is fake. Where I'm from, we got a system, overcrowded prisons, 2 cents an hour, man. Listen, shit don't change if we keep exploiting each other. One day you find out you only did it to your brother. A homeless mother, a baby, no supper. She got a husband and father, they both love her, but they can't find work cause the people with the power, they got a strange way to govern. Their price tag say nothing. Life is funny, then again it's really not. People dying for what other people got. I asked God if he can come and change the shit. He said, hell no, cause you just gotta change this.
Every day the children dying. What about the children crying?
In the turf. From there, you must find out what life is worth. Grew up learning your do's and don'ts before working on your motor skills, working on your coordination, right? And orientation to what your life. The brand new thing, so gentle the soul we're capturing. In this distance, the alphabets the kids sing. They celebrate when it's time to go outside. As you get older, you learn to let all the troubles in your life just glide away. Stay focused, keep it smooth, keep you cool. Things in life can make it get rude. If you let it, don't let it. 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 If you let it, let it, let it, what? If you let it, don't let it, let it. If you let it, what? Don't let it. If you let it, don't let it, let it. Don't let it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We embark on this journey to your soul. We wanna have a good time. We embark on this journey to your soul. We wanna have a good time. We do something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I, on a mission to salvation. Our spirit be our transportation. We think you'll do a little love and that is true. For real, we bring something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I. Bring it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want. From our harshest past and better than our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face, like life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked, while we fight over problems we can fix. Industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you, keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. What? Stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, they don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, they don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, they don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, they don't lie, that you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation, cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt, cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother, and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home.
Everybody here, yeah.
They don't know, kid. They don't know, they don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. fucking lie. The struggle goes on. People trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long. Pain without a limit, so wrong. When am I walking? Sometimes I think about, does love still exist? Yeah, I have my doubts. On the street, I check out how brothers been living. Yo, let's just say, kid, it ain't no Thanksgiving. We got people shooting dope, ain't never heard of hope. We got others with the gat and the brothers with the fucking scope. As I enter the projects, enter rec rooms, some brothers might see the doom. I see my man Paulo, fat pockets of papes. He knows the neighborhood biddies with all the dopest shapes. There goes Rollo with the blowout fro. He's got a gap, hey yo, brothers gots to go. No show is live with narrate, fuck Memorex. My man Rollo's got a gat at Paulo's chest. One slug blasted out, down boy died. Now show me some love, kid, it sounds like a fucking lie. The struggle goes on, people trying to survive, hold on. But we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Sometimes I think how the world come to this, a place where every man and woman needs a therapist. Mass confusion, people living in delusion, justify all the bullshit through the Constitution. Meanwhile, the masses struggle to survive. I think we're too busy to hear our people's cries. Single mothers struggle to raise families, genocide committed through famine and disease. I wonder if these things will ever cease to exist. I know it could if we cease and desist, giving all the power to the industrialists, giving all our power to the damn commercialists that see us just as being sheep in this world, that want us to do what we're told like boys and girls. Oh God, I wanna live another day so I can help provide equality in this day. The struggle goes on, people trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Everybody round the globe, open up your earlobe, your third eye, and then decipher the code. Through knowledge, understanding, then bring love into the concept instead of bling bling. Truth instead of biased educational methods, twisting, contorting God's message of love for every human being. Listen, motherfucker, don't you hear the screams? It's time to do much more than talk, debate, and spread hate. We need to think and at the same time investigate, understand what our actions may create. Before continuing the cycle we procreate, we can clone humans, but at the same time we can't feed humans. The future of man is actually looming. It's really depressing, it's true, man. You know the struggle goes on, people trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long, pain without a limit, so wrong. Yes, you know the struggle goes on, people trying to survive, hold on. Though we know it's been so long,